Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to Leibold Field in Richmond as we bring you North Central Conference football tonight. The Red Devils hosting the Broncos of Lafayette. Jeff, this is the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. I'm Troy Darengowski. Eric Banton joining us here on the pregame, and of course, we're going to switch things up tonight. Eric will be jumping into this chair. Jesse's with us tonight. We haven't seen Jesse since, I think, last year.
Yeah, last year at Tech.
At Tech. So Jesse's going to be back with us again tonight. We were hoping maybe to get him on sooner, but everything's working out for tonight. Eric, the Red Devils, I think, are going to have to play maybe a perfect football game here tonight against a Bronco team that is loaded offensively. We have seen what they're able to do on defense against some of the other teams. Maybe not as good defensively as they are on offense, but boy, the Red Devils have a tall task ahead of them here tonight.
They certainly do, Troy. I mean, this Jeff team comes in averaging 42 points a game, scoring 42 points a game, and like you said, their defense may not be the best, but their offense gets them ahead, and that's what helps them win football games. Some of their point totals, 54, 36, 49, 48, 37. Those are just a few of the big numbers that they've been able to put up this year. And Richmond, like you said, they're going to have to play perfect defensively if they want to have any chance of winning this ball game against a very talented Broncos team.
Well, the Red Devils making a quarterback change. Brandon Curtis would have been out anyway tonight because of a concussion. They went with Trayshawn Jones last week late in the game against Logansport. They saw some flashes of what he's possibly able to do as a dual-threat quarterback. How do you think that helps the offense here tonight?
For one, I think it's good that the Red Devils have a quarterback now that can move on the run. The Richmond O-line, quite frankly, has not been the best this season. There hasn't been a lot of time for Curtis or Hall or Jones to get rid of the football. So Jones brings that extra added thing of his legs. He can move around very quickly, get where he needs to be, and get away from pressure if he has to very quickly outside the pocket. So that's one plus I see, and some of his throws were pretty good last week as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely know he's got a pretty good arm, so he can sling it around the yard a little bit. So we'll see what kind of plays Coach Toffik has set up for him at the quarterback spot. And who knows, maybe he can pull off of a very poor man's Jacoby Brissett here and possibly get the Red Devils looking a little better.
Well, he's going to be a little bit undermanned again. More injuries from last week. We already mentioned that you lose Curtis because of the concussion. You're without your starting center now with a concussion. We were counting 14 players, and we haven't seen them all yet, I don't think, but 14 players on the sidelines in their jerseys and basically in their street clothes. They will not play tonight. So other players, again, are going to have to step up, but that's been nothing new this year.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Toffik has been preaching that next man up mentality throughout the season, and this is just another instance of that. Again, you got a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of high school football, and right now they're getting thrown into the fire, so to speak. And in the long term, this will be a very good thing for them because they'll have that under fire experience, and it can only make them better as a team down the road for next season as well.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back on the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show, we'll hear from Coach Toffik, get his thoughts about the quarterback change and what to expect tonight against an undefeated Lafayette Jet Bronco football team. That's coming up next, right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Big Boy's Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in. carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boys Pizza. 765-488-0023. Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top-flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com. And we welcome you back to the pregame show right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Tonight it's the Broncos and the Red Devils in North Central Conference football action week number 7. Coach, before we talk about the Broncos, you made a quarterback change, more out of necessity last week because of the injury to Brandon Curtis, but now you're going to stay with Trayshawn Jones for the rest of the year. Talk a little bit about Trayshawn. I think you saw some glimpses of his ability to throw and run the football, which is something I think you like from a potential standpoint the rest of the year.
Right, yeah. I mean, great potential, big, tall kid. He's got a great arm. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass. They took it off the board, but, he 40 yards in the air, perfect strike last Friday night. Very, very athletic, so he can pull it down and run if the protection breaks down. Plus, he adds that extra element. When we run the inside-outside zone, the potential to keep that football kind of holds the defense on the backside a little bit, which will open up some more holes for our run game for Wyatt Bird and those other guys that we're using in there, run the football. We like Trayshawn. He's a great athlete, strong arm. We just got to teach him how to play the quarterback position, and I think he's going to be pretty good for us.
The one part that you said there, which I really like, is his ability to run. Yeah. Brandon, and certainly Brandon has a lot of good qualities, but he was not a very mobile quarterback. Right. And so you probably saw defenses were able to stay up in the box a little bit longer, kind of what you're alluding to right there. Well, they can't do that as much now against Trayshawn.
Right. No, they can't because he actually, the one touchdown that we scored, it was a 40-yard touchdown run from Trayshawn there towards the end of the game. And that just, he had 3 quarters under his belt. He was finally starting to feel a little comfortable back there. Yeah. The first few drives, he was rushing it. He wasn't, reading the right keys. He was looking opposite of where he was supposed to be looking. And, those are just things. He came over to the sideline. We pulled out the iPad. We coached him up. And he got progressively better as the game went on. And that's why we're, at this point in the season, with Brandon being down with the concussion, 3 total games left in the regular season, it's time to put Trayshawn in there and give him the rest of this season to prepare for next season, because we project him to be our quarterback going, all season next year.
The big question for this one again is we're probably going to have to wait till game time to find out who's back and who's not, because the injury got you again last week. Yeah. I tell you what, and I feel bad for you. I feel bad for those players. I feel bad for the entire program, because I would love to have seen how much you would have developed if all these guys are still together, but the concussion bug got you more this week, didn't it? We had 5 guys go down with injuries Friday night, and so we actually had Dylan Selby, a first-year football player, playing in there at left guard. Yeah, you did. And nose tackle. He's a kid that I recruited from the lunchroom, this year.
And
wow.
Yeah. So
I had to find his name on the roster. Who's this kid?
Yeah. I mean, that was his first real varsity action, and just out of necessity. I mean, we had the bodies, before the season started and before we started really getting into the thick of it. But now, we've had so many guys go down with injuries that he had to step in there. I mean, we've got multiple guards that are just down right now, hurt. Jacob Jones is down with a concussion. Jimmy Gifford's been down all season. Caleb Wages is out with his knee. Cooper Van Devender is out with a knee situation. Those are 4 guards that we could have playing in there, if they were healthy. We wouldn't be forced to have to put in a kid like Dylan who really needs some JV time to develop. But I tell you what, he's a great kid. He's a straight A student. He works his tail off. He listens. He's very coachable. He doesn't have a lot of old habits that we have to break because he's a first-year football player. And so he came in, and I tell you what, he did well. But I just, going in this week against Lafayette, Jeff, I mean, that's just a different monster that we're dealing with, and he's really going to have to step up. But we believe in the kid. We trust in him. We think he's an off-season away from being a starting offensive lineman for us. We've got a couple of kids that are first-year football players that we think are just an off-season away from being really solid football players for us. But, we're just going to have to manage and go through it. I don't feel bad for myself because, I feel like I was the guy for this job, and, this is God put this on me because it's something that I can handle. I don't believe God puts anything on you that you can't handle, and we've obviously got some really tough kids in this program because God's put a whole lot on us this season. And so we'll get better. It'll, the hottest fire forges the strongest steel, is what I've been telling the kids. And so, it's only a matter of time before we get this thing turned around and going in the right direction.
And with also those 4 guards you mentioned, then you lose Pierce as well. Starter last year as a freshman, your starter this year, I look out there, he's gone. So I'm just like, you probably need a MASH bus with you, don't you? I mean, by the time you're done, you load all those guys on that bus and take them to the medical doctor.
We got the MASH crew. It's a very, very large MASH crew. We've probably got just as many kids on the injured reserve right now that we have on our entire JV team.
Wow.
So between all the guys that we've just got injured, all the first-year football players or freshmen or sophomores that we have playing in there, this is kind of how it turns out.
Well, maybe it was kind of designed. God has a real good sense of humor. He thought, well, Coach, if you're going to rebuild, let's do it now. We'll get all these young kids in there. You know,
and you know what? Like I said, it could be a blessing in disguise because now I don't know the exact number, but we've got so many more kids with varsity experience coming back next year than what we had this year. We had 10 kids with varsity experience this year on this team, and 5 of those guys got injured. So actually even more of them are injured now. I think the only 2 that have not been injured, and I don't even want to jinx ourselves in this situation, but
I was going to say, sure you want to say it?
I don't even want to say it, but we've only got 2 guys that have, that had varsity experience that haven't been injured this year, and so those 2 guys have been kind of the anchors for us, and
we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I don't blame you a bit.
Yeah.
Coach, Lafayette Jeff, we talked about on our show earlier this week that they are. When you get to this point in the season and you're undefeated and you probably are going to be playing for that conference championship, the attitude really does change a lot. Yeah. And they're not going to want to come in here and have any slip up whatsoever, so they're going to think, listen, we come in here and get this win right here, one step closer to that title.
Right, yeah. No, I fully expect them to come in here and do what they've been doing the previous weeks this season and play as hard as they can possibly play, plays extremely disciplined, have a great game plan, and execute, you know, and that's what I expect them to do when they come in here. I mean, Coach Shanley's got that program rocking and rolling, and, you know, I mean, you could spend an entire week just preparing for what they do on special teams. I mean, so, you know, offensively and defensively, they've got just as much. So just a really, really good football program, and, you know, I just hope that we can go out there and fight as hard as we possibly fight, and, you know, kids give it all that they've got for 4 quarters and get out of there healthy.
Yeah, I tell you what, when we went there last year, and you could see the progression again, and their offense was clicking then. So I can imagine what it's clicking like right now with another year underneath their belt.
Well, I mean, we've watched 3 game films of them this season. They punted 3 times.
That's crazy.
Know? So in each one of those games, they've scored 35 to 40 points. Yeah. You know, each one of those
against
games.
Good football
against
teams.
Really, really good football teams. Yeah. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely going to be a tough one. Like I said, I hope to get out of there healthy and, you know, and get ready for the next week. So,
from the standpoint, you do have at least Vert is back.
Yep.
So it looks like he's going to play, but he's got to get his legs back underneath him. Same with Bubba Sanders. He did play last week, and he had the one deflection, almost an interception in the game last week.
Yep.
So you kind of see maybe if he gets another week or 2 under, he should be back and hopefully
full
be 100%.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and Bryce Brown has finally been cleared to practice. So we've got to see how his shoulder holds up. But, you know, slowly but surely, you know, well, it seems like that because we got Bubba back, we got Wyatt back. You know, we're getting Bryce back, but then we lose Jacob Jones, we lose O'Shea Henderson, we lose Blaine Pierce, we lose Jackson Haynes.
And so we don't know right now with the concussion issue these days.
Right.
You just don't know if they're going to, because you mentioned Jacob Jones. I saw him walk into class the other day, and that was before the game last week, and he doesn't know because he's still having symptoms.
Right.
So you just got to be very careful with that.
I spoke with him yesterday during school, and you know, he was still having some concussion symptoms. So it's going to be a day-to-day deal with him. You know, hopefully we can get him back. You know, before I just pray that we get these kids back and get healthy before the playoffs start, before we start the sectionals. You know, I feel like if we can just get everybody, I mean, we only got 1 game with everybody playing all together. I mean, the only game where we had everybody on our team was the Connersville game.
Yeah.
And since then, you know, it's been different kids in there every single week. But again, could be a blessing in disguise. We've got so many kids coming back next year with some varsity experience, whether that's on special teams or offense or defense, and freshmen and sophomores, and you know, so we've got a lot of experience now. You know, some varsity experience coming back next year.
Yeah.
So with a great off season and really putting the emphasis on the weight room and building up our bodies and getting everybody bigger, faster, and stronger, you know, I think we'll be in better shape next year than what we were this year for sure.
You know, before I let you go and get back to the pregame show, I wanted to, if I ever could, think about, you know, the NBA and Major League Baseball. They'll say, well, so this team has missed 45 games because of injury. I would hate to think about how many quarters your players have missed because of injury, because I would imagine we're talking about, you know, I don't know.
Well,
do I want to guess?
You know,
it's probably too much to even think about, because
I mean, quarters-wise, what we've played, this will be week 6. I'm sorry, this will be
week 7. So you played 6 total weeks.
We played 6 total weeks, which would be like 24 quarters of football. You know, Bryce Brown played 6 of those 24 quarters.
So you're at least 18 right there.
That's 18.
How many Bubba Sanders?
Bubba Sanders played the first full game, and then he played last week, so he's played 8 of 24. So that, you know, that's another, 16.
So you're saying 2 players, 34 quarters already. Missed football.
And that's just in 2 quarters.
Yeah.
You know, Jake Jones, I mean,
you better not think anymore.
no, I'm not a math guy.
Well, me neither.
In the first place,
it's getting a little too high for me. Gets past 15, I'm out of it. So
I tell you what, it would have to be up in the 50s, probably close to 100.
Yeah. I would say probably the upper side of that 100, closer to it. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, we'll come back with more of the pregame show as we continue right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
We're back once again here on the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shearer pregame show. We're moments away from the kickoff tonight. Other games tonight in the North Central Conference. Anderson plays at Tech. Harrison is at McCutcheon. Logansport is at Kokomo. And Muncie Central is on the road at Marion. The big TEC matchup tonight. Hagerstown is at Centerville. That game is on Radio Troy Digital Sports. In fact, their pregame just now getting underway as Scott Beeman has the call for that one. Lincoln at Union City. Northeastern at Union County. Shenandoah at Winchester, and Tri is at Knightstown. And also out of the Eastern Indiana Conference, Batesville is at Greensburg, Connorsville at East Central, Franklin County at South Dearborn, and Lawrenceburg is at Rushville. We will take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have the IHSA Commissioner's Report coming up next. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shearer pregame show right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
It's summertime, the kids are home, and traffic on your carpet is pretty heavy. Let Georgia Direct install stain-proof, waterproof carpet that's easy to take care of and gives your home a fresh new look. Georgia Direct has great-looking carpet, colorful tile, beautiful hardwood flooring, and more. And for the kitchen, the Georgia Direct showroom features lots of new cabinets and design ideas. Georgia Direct in Richmond, National Road East, exit 156A, just off I-70, next to Red Lobster. For price, selection, experience, and service, it's Georgia Direct.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly update from the IHSAA Commissioner himself, Bobby Cox. Now for the inside scoop on what's happening day to day with the IHSAA. Here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Bobby Cox.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bob Lovell, and this is our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Bobby Cox. And Commissioner, I know this week, as you have been doing, principals meetings around the state. This week you were down in the southern part of the state. Issues still out there. Everybody getting an update from you and what things are out there relative to them. I'm curious as to what's percolating out there around the state that has the attention of the principals and athletic directors in the IHSAA.
Well, Bob, you're correct. We made a southern swing down through Jennings County, North Vernon, and in Evansville this week. And we have an agenda that we share with our principals in each of the 8 meetings we conduct statewide. And there's some pretty significant issues that surround high school sports right now. And one that's been talked about a little bit in the media, and one that we're giving a lot of attention to is the recruitment and retention of contest officials. And, you're a coach and I was a coach, and, we have our moments with coaches and officials in the past. But the reality of the day is we have got to do a better job of not only recruiting officials, which we are working hard on, but retaining them, putting them in positions where they can experience success, where they can learn the rules, and where they can adjudicate contests fairly for these young people that play them. Because at the end of the conversation, you got to have officials or you're not going to have a game. And I don't know that our listeners really understand just how critical that quotient is right now.
It is beyond a crisis, quite frankly. And you're seeing it manifest itself in youth sports. You guys are going to be next. There will be contests canceled because you don't have enough adequate officials to do it. And frankly, I would like to be optimistic. I know you are. I don't share that optimism that this is going to be something that can easily be taken care of.
Well, Bob, I'm realistic enough to be in your camp. I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. And until we have a cultural shift where we start treating officials with dignity and we start respecting our game and playing it for what it is, which it is a game, we're going to continue to struggle in this area. We allow things to occur in education-based contests that we would certainly not allow to be occur in our classroom. We allow language to be used in a contest that we'd fire a teacher for if they did the exact same thing. We look at the education-based athletic environment as an extension of that classroom. So why would it be any different? And I think we've got to get our mind wrapped around that piece first before we can get into recruitment, retainment, and the betterment of officiating.
Bobby Cox joining us. We're talking about all things IHSAA this Sunday at noon on great radio stations around the state and on the internet. The pairing show for the upcoming football state championship. Paul Condry and I will be live. You'll be joining us. It's a little change. Everything's going to be streamed. It's going to be radio and streamed. And then on the 17th of October on Fox Sports Indiana, a 1-hour recap setting the stage for the upcoming tournament. It's that time of year. I cannot believe that Sunday we're going to be pulling out, you're going to be pulling out ping pong balls and figuring out who's playing whom.
Yes, it's that time of year. And, I'm really excited about the changes we've made, Bob, with the internet shows for our pairings and the preview shows for football and basketball that are coming up later in the school year. This is the new wave of how these pairing shows are going to be done, and we've already done a couple of them, and I hope our patrons have watched those. And I've watched the soccer draw the other night and had it on my iPad, and I'll tell you what, it was pretty slick what those guys can do now with graphics and how it's presented. Greg Rakestraw did a great job with our pairing show, and I like the direction we're going, and I think it's a better service to our friends and our patrons.
We'll try not to disappoint you. That's our goal on Sunday night. He's the commissioner of the IHSAA, Bobby Cox. Thanks so much, Commissioner. I'll see you Sunday for the pairing show.
Thank you, Bob.
For over a century, Richmond Power and Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, they are advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. Richmond Power and Light provides reliable, low-cost energy and technology services in a customer-focused, environmentally responsible, safety-conscious manner. Richmond Power and Light. Together we make powerful partners.
Welcome back to Leibold Field on the campus of Richmond High School. I'm Eric Benton, and joining me this evening on tonight's call of Richmond versus Lafayette Jeff is my good friend Jesse Ochoa. He's going to be keeping some stats for us, unofficial, and
yes,
doing things
always
absolutely right. Great to have you on the broadcast, my friend, and well, let's get through today's starters as well. We'll start off with the Lafayette Jeff defense. At corner, number 31, Cedric Wright-Enlow. Number 23, Garrett Price will get the start at strong safety. Number 14, Avery Walker will be the free safety for the Broncos. And then at the other corner is Lee Sams, number 29. The linebacking group includes Quentin Stephanie, number 3. Britton Chandler is the middle linebacker in a 4-3 defense for the Broncos. He is number 45. Seth Jones, number 28, is another outside linebacker. And on the front line for the Broncos is DeLeon Holmes, number 51. Jacob Barron is one of the defensive tackles, number 43. Peyton Price, number 97, gets the start of the other D tackle. And on the other side of the line at defensive end is Kyle Wyatt, number 24. For Richmond on offense, across the front line it is Colton Davis, number 75. Dylan Selby getting a rare start tonight. At left guard, number 60. Brandon Thomas, it will be the center, number 52. Sam Gamboa is the right guard, number 61. And Shea Hall is the big right tackle, number 76. At the wide receivers, you have number 4, Cody Reese. Number 5, Gerald Deloney is another receiver for the Red Devils tonight. Julian Hoagland as well will be at wide receiver, along with Stephen Huber, number 13. And at running back will be Wyatt Bird, number 22. He might be a key point of focus for Richmond's offense tonight. And again, at quarterback is number 1, Trayshawn Jones. He's played a lot of wide receiver here in the past, but now he will be starting at quarterback. So, Jesse, coming into this game, obviously it looks like it could be a very one-sided affair, but what does Richmond have to do on defense in order to keep the Broncos at bay?
I would have to say they need to stay disciplined. And in this instance, like you say, they're banged up, as we'll get into along the broadcast. So automatically there's a lot of young players out here playing, and that is magnified when you have injuries. So like we talked about with Troy before the game, coaches are really going to need to be on their P's and Q's this week, getting young players to stay within their minds, play assignment football, and 11 men doing one job apiece collectively.
Exactly.
Will get the job done. And like you said, it's going to be a tough task tonight. This offense is going to be most likely firing on all cylinders as they have been in the past few weeks. So the defense is going to have to do the same.
And again, this Bronco defense, very high-powered, averaging 42 points a contest. So the most they've scored this season is 54. That was week 1 at Lafayette Central Catholic. And we know what kind of a powerhouse Lafayette Central is, and they absolutely did a number on them. But again, they're 5 classes lower than the Broncos. But nonetheless, Lafayette Central Catholic, a very powerful program, and trying to start things out with a new head coach there as well. But this Lafayette Jeff team, very, very strong as well. Pat Chandler, the head coach, this is his second season, and he's 6-0 to start the year.
Absolutely, 12-4 in those 2 years at the school so far. 6-0 start, rolling, and looks like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with come selection.
Yes.
I guess it's not selection Sunday, the draw Sunday.
Yes.
Coming up just in a week or so.
Yeah, actually not that far away.
Talking about sectional
Might
football.
even be on Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday is the sectional draw, and hopefully Richmond can pull a home game out for that first game of the week, and we'll see how that goes as well. Now for Richmond on the offense, of course you got a new system in with Trayshawn Jones at quarterback. He's a lot more mobile than the Red Devils are used to in the past this season. What do you think he's going to bring as far as leading the offense?
Well, you bring a comparison from the pros, and you did it earlier today, and I'll put it on air, give you credit. Jacoby Brissett with a Scott Tolzien. He just gives you the mobility, and that adds an extra dimension that the defense has to worry about, an extra point that the coaches are harping on all week. And information, when you get crammed and crammed and crammed, and it comes that time of stress, what are you going to forget? So it's just the mobility, I've seen the quarterbacks out here practicing, and I saw the timing being worked out between Jones and Huber. So obviously they're working on things as they go. First start for him this year at quarterback, but that mobility I expect to be used early and often this season.
And I think they might bring in a little bit of that read option game as well.
Yes.
If Jones has that kind of speed, which I know he does,
that'll be a kid.
He is a very tall kid. In fact, he is listed here on the roster at 6'3", 185 pounds. So he'll be able to see over those offensive linemen and have a better look to his receivers out in the open field as well.
And right now, the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos are taking the field. Just about 10 seconds left on the clock before we get things officially underway. And we'll start with some football and what feels like the first fall night of the year so far. Definitely got that fall feel in the air. And Friday Night Lights, glad to be back. Shout out to Troy once again for letting me destroy the airwaves with my friend Eric Van.
And it's great to be back on the mics with you as well, my friend. And again, this Lafayette Jeff team, 6-0 on the season. If they win tonight, they will clinch a share of the NCC regular season title. If they win and have some help, if they have more than a 3-game lead after tonight, they will clinch the conference outright. So the Broncos have a lot to play for, and they have a lot of pride on the line here as well.
They will be motivated. Captain's taking the field now for the coin toss, so we are very close to kickoff.
And again, the Red Devils 0-6 on the season. Their offense has struggled mostly at times, and the defense has as well. But, again, this is going to be, I think, their most important game of the season. If they can at least compete for 4 quarters tonight, I think Coach Tawfik has a lot to work with into next season and at the tail end of this season as well.
Absolutely, and like we were talking about off air before the broadcast, this is one of those games where it can kind of swing either way for the last half, the last third of the season. And with the two teams coming up, they're not going to be as good as this Lafayette Jeff team you're playing tonight. So this is the perfect time to get the new quarterback in there, kind of turn the page, and get things rolling in a positive direction for the next season.
Richmond won the toss. They have elected to defer, so that means the Broncos will get the ball to start this football game in Richmond, Indiana. And like you mentioned, Jesse, it's an absolutely perfect night. You can't ask for anything better, especially considering last week when we were in high 80s, low 90-degree temperatures, and a lot of the players, I bet, were dealing with cramps across the state, I bet, on many levels. But this is exactly what you want if you're a football coach playing in 70 degrees and a little bit of wind coming in towards our press box from the far sideline. So we'll see how that plays a factor in the kicking game as well. But again, Red Devils have sent their men out there on special teams. It'll be Stephen Huber, again, doing the kickoff duties for the Red Devils. And we've got a couple men deep there for the Broncos. One of them
looks like, excuse me, Eric.
Go ahead.
It's going to be number 75, TJ Brandenburg, and number 85, Jay Seagal, back deep to receive.
Huber's right foot's into it. We are underway at Leibold Field. And the Broncos let that one fall. That could have been very dangerous, but the return man gets it up to the 30, and just shy of the 35 comes number 7 for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos, Bishop Johnson, a sophomore quarterback / wide receiver for Lafayette Jeff, standing at 5'8", 158 pounds, gets the return. So the Broncos start out on offense, and that means they'll be led by number 16, Matt Wilkerson. He's just under 1,500 total yards through the air on the season and completing at quite a high clip as well, Jesse.
Absolutely. Like you said, going back to that kickoff, that was a little dangerous there. Ball bounced at the 5 and wasn't picked up there for a little while.
Wilkerson swings it out in the flat to his running back. It's complete out to the far sideline. The man's got some speed. He's past midfield, but steps out of bounds just past the first down marker at the 43-yard line. Actually, the 44 make that. Catch was made by Latrell Brown, number 22, a senior tailback for the Broncos.
Just another extension of a running play there. Snap it in a short play to the right side.
Wilkerson in shotgun takes the snap, looking to his right. Catch made by Brown again. He's at midfield and then brought down by a couple of Red Devils, led by number 13, Stephen Huber, and then number 23 as well in on the tackle for Richmond. That would be Vincent Narcisse.
No huddle offense here, quick pace as they're back to the line already.
2 receivers left, 1 right for the Broncos. Wilkerson again. He'll toss this one back out to number 32. He hits the hole very nicely, up past the 45 to the 40 of Richmond, and that's where he's brought down. We do have a flag at around the 34-yard line of the Red Devils. Number 32, Marquise Munoz, a sophomore tailback. We're going to be talking a lot about him tonight, Jesse. He's a big-time player at running back for the Broncos.
Breaking tackles all the way there. A holding call, like you said, will bring this one back. But I think they've ran the same play 3 times, once to the right, twice to the left. The speed kills at this point.
So this will make it second down, and they're going to call this one 5 for Lafayette Jeff. Just under 11 minutes to play, first quarter. 2 receivers either side for Wilkerson. Fakes the throw left. Now he rolls right. And he's hit as he throws. Incomplete. Great pressure there from the Red Devils. That's number 75 for Richmond. That's Colton Davis, the defensive end, and plays on the offensive line as well. He was able to get pressure on Wilkerson and hit him as he was throwing the football.
Anytime you read 6'6", 285, you got to put big Colton Davis in there. And he made his weight and height felt there.
So now third down for the Broncos. Trips out to the right. Wilkerson, quick throw. He's got a man down the sidelines, and it's dropped. So Richmond forces a 4th down and that is going to be a big plus for the Red Devils on the sidelines. The intended receiver there for the Broncos was number 5, and that, of course, is Brian Jenkins, a junior wide receiver. But it looks like right now, Jesse, that the Broncos are going to keep the offense on the field. They're going to try and go for this one near midfield.
Aggressive right here. You had 2 big plays and then a kind of a stalled drive. We'll see where it goes.
Wilkerson takes the snap, looking to throw. Has a man down the middle. It's incomplete. And the Red Devils will get the football on downs in great field position at the Lafayette Jeff 49-yard line. And that'll send the Red Devil offense out onto the field here just under 11 minutes at 10:41 to go in the first quarter.
Good stand by there by the Red Devil defense. They came out strong with 2 plays to Brown right away, got about 40 yards off those 2 plays, and then 3 incomplete passes with the penalty mixed in. Richmond, great field position. Let's take the lead here.
Jones, the quarterback. He's going to keep this one. Goes off to the left and drugged down near the line of scrimmage there by number 45. That's Britton Chandler, the middle linebacker for the Broncos. They read that run play, and the keeper out all the way. Did a nice job getting to Jones quickly. Trips to the right here for the Red Devils. A quick snap. Handoff this time goes to Wyatt Bird, but he's met in the backfield for about a 1-yard loss by a plethora of Broncos there in the backfield. Ball will be marked at the 50-yard line. A very quick third down now for the Red Devils, Jesse.
Oh, man, you read my mind right there with the plethora line. Don't know who to give that tackle to because there was quite a few white shirts around Wyatt Bird.
So now it's 3rd and 11. Just past the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter. Still scoreless here at Leibolt Field. The Red Devils and Broncos. Out to the left, it's Reese and Deloney. Gerald Deloney in the slot to the left. Wyatt Bird to Jones's right in the shotgun. Jones standing at 6'3", sends a man in motion, and that play is going to be whistled dead, so I imagine it's going to be either a false start or an encroachment. I would hazard to guess it'll be a false start. And that's what our officials will call, so a 5-yard penalty against the Red Devils there. We'll back them up 5. Head referee tonight is Ron Wentz, the umpire David Morton. Joe Stafford is the line judge. Bill Massengill is the head linesman, and in the back judge is Paul Mills, our officiating crew for tonight's contest. 3rd and 16 now for the Red Devils. 2 running backs. Jones going to roll out right. Throws it down the field. Ball is caught. Missed the tackle. And it's a first down for the Red Devils. Stephen Huber makes the catch just past the 40-yard line to the 38. And what a conversion on 3rd and 16, Jesse.
Absolutely. Like you said, or like we both said there in the pregame, the mobile aspect of the quarterback. They rolled the pocket right. He had a little bit more time to throw, made a great decision. Great throw on the run, and even better job finding the sticks.
A 3rd down conversion for Richmond, and they now have a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 at the Lafayette Jeff 37. Jones gets the high snap, has to roll out to his left, trying to make something happen, and does get positive yardage. He got about half of that to the 32-yard line. So great job corralling the snap by Trayshawn Jones and cutting it upfield, finding a hole, and getting positive yardage for about 6 yards.
And that's one of those things I think that if they keep pounding it, it looks like it could break. Nice long strides for Jones.
Bird, the running back, to his right. Again, very quick set here for Richmond. Jones keeps it again and gets just past the 30 to the 29-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Red Devils. 8:15 to go in the first quarter.
Boy, and he's fast. He's quick, too. Do you see how
they
were closing in on him? And boom, right there, 4 yards, picking up what needed to be picked up, close to a first down.
Another 3rd down here for Richmond. Already 1 for 1 tonight. Jones sending Huber in motion to the slot left. 2 men in the backfield, Deloney and Bird. It's going to be a handoff to Bird, and that one took a little time to get to Jones, so it was a late handoff, and Lafayette Jeff was all over that one. A loss of 2 on the play to the 31, and now it's 4th and 4, and it looks like the Red Devils will do the same as Lafayette Jeff did. They're going to keep their offense on the field.
I like it. I like it right here. You're fairly, I wouldn't call it 4th and short because that's always tricky, but 4th down. You've had several good plays on this drive. Get that momentum going for your team.
2 receivers to either side. Reese and Huber right. Deloney and Holguin to the left. Bird in the backfield. That one's a high snap. Jones got rid of it, tried to throw, but he's going to be sacked. Back to the 44 of Lafayette Jeff. So the Broncos hold the Red Devils this time on 4th down. An interesting start to this game, Jesse, as both teams failed to convert on 4th down and turn over on downs as well.
High snap there kind of ruined the play from the beginning. Looked like Quentin Stephanie and number 24, Kyle Wyatt, for Lafayette Jeff got in with a little combo sack there. Too bad.
So back come the Broncos in shotgun. Wilkerson at the quarterback spot with 2 men, one on either side of him. Handoff, this one goes to Munoz, and he's still dragging guys with him to midfield. That guy is a tough runner. He's got over 700 yards through 6 games so far this season. Munoz doing an excellent job carrying the football there for 6. And again, Jeff keeping the tempo up. Munoz gets the handoff again, going right up the middle, breaking off tackles, heading to the far sideline, and he'll pick up the first down to the Richmond 43-yard line. Broncos converting there on 2nd and 4. And again, going with no huddle. Both teams settling for the no huddle offense here early on in this contest. Now 2 receivers either side as Wilkerson looks to the far sidelines for the play. He'll relay it to his receivers here on the near side. Siegel there as well. Here's the jet sweep going off to Johnson, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle by number 11, Ron Bubba Sanders for the Red Devils. No gain on the play. Actually lost 1 yard there, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Great job by Richmond reading out that jet sweep.
Awesome open field tackle there by Bubba, you say?
Bubba.
Nice.
Trips to the left now for the Broncos. Wilkerson takes the snap. He'll roll out left, has some protection, throws on the run. Great throw and catch to the sidelines. That's Jenkins, number 5. And he actually steps out at the 30-yard line, and another first down for Lafayette Jeff. They've got their offense rolling now.
13-yard pitch and catch there, and they're back on the line once again with 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Wilkerson with Munoz to his right. Fakes the throw left, now rolls right, has plenty of time. Throw down the field, and that one is caught for the touchdown. Jay Siegel makes the catch. He's got his 8th touchdown of the season. That'll probably put him over 400 yards as well on the year. And that is Lafayette Jeff's first touchdown of the day. It's 6-0 with 5:36 to go in the first quarter. What did you see on that play there, Jess?
I saw a little holding there. Ron Sanders was held trying to get to the quarterback, but I'm not sure if that would have made much of a difference as the wide receiver was fairly open there. A little action here, a little swinging gate, you can call.
A little swinging gate, and they're going to go ahead and go for 2, will Lafayette Jeff. Here's the throw over the middle. Ball dropped. A great stop there by the Red Devils. They were ready for that 2-point try.
Yeah.
And
Wyatt Bird's ready to get that ball back, man.
So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it'll stay 6-0. Red Devils trailing the Lafayette Jeff Broncos here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
At Square Donuts, we take our donuts seriously, and apparently so do our customers. Square Donuts is by far the #1 donut shop in Richmond. At Square Donuts, we bake our donuts, cinnamon rolls, long johns, and many other varieties fresh daily. Donuts became our family tradition and business in 1967, and we've continued through 3 generations. Square Donuts in Richmond has 2 locations, including 1241 Northwest 5th Street and 3637 East Main in the Hoppy Jeweler Plaza. Square Donuts of Richmond. We never cut corners and never will.
Back with you on Radio Troy Digital Sports. 6-0 your score. Lafayette Jeff with the early lead over the Richmond Red Devils. But up until that point, Jesse, it seemed like both teams were trying to feel each other out a little bit. And then Lafayette Jeff just found their stride offensively and moved it down the field for 6.
Yeah, one big play there broke it for 6 points, as you said. A little trickery with the extra point. Didn't go as well as they would have hoped. 6-0 is our score now. But like you said, there was positives there on the first drive for Richmond, so let's see if they can pick up on those and get another score on the board themselves.
So again, the Broncos kicking this one off after the failed 2-point conversion This one on the way, a good kick, but it's heading toward the far sidelines and will go out of bounds. So the Richmond Red Devils will have great field position to start this drive. And it will start at the 35 of the 40.
I think it's the 40, but I'm not sure about high school.
We'll see where they'll mark the ball. They'll put it at the 35-yard line. So, again, Richmond's got 65 yards to hit pay dirt. And, again, like you mentioned, Jesse, they had some good things going, trying to mix up the run and the pass a little bit. And Jones will line up in shotgun. He has 2 receivers left, 1 right. Now he'll move Deloney into the slot on the right side. Jones takes the snap. He'll hand this one off to Hubert. Hubert hits the hole up the middle and will gain about 2 or 3 yards up to the 38-yard line of Richmond. And that will be 2nd and 7 coming up now for the Red Devils.
Quick run play up the middle there as they got to the line quickly there as if they were going to go no huddle again, but kind of pause, pump the brakes, and reset.
Deloney in motion. Here's the snap, and Deloney will get the handoff. He tries to cut it out to the right side, and he was drugged down by the ankles back at the original line of scrimmage. We got a flag late after the play was over.
Maybe late hit on big Colton Davis there. I saw one of the white jerseys a little aggressively pulling the ankle of a Richmond player, and he was just going in there to defend his guy. Of course, the second guy always gets caught, and they get forced to move back with the penalty.
So that will move it back 15 yards after the play, too. So that's a killer for the Red Devils. Moves them back 15, and it's now 3rd down. Just under 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. And the officials will mark this ball all the way back to the 21-yard line of Richmond. So they've got quite the ways to go from where they originally started. They've got to go 24 yards for a first down.
Yeah, you got to contain that rage and put it on them on the next play.
So 3rd and long. Jones lines up shotgun formation, has Bird to his left, and trips wide receivers to the left. That ball is loose, still loose on the turf, and Lafayette Jeff recovers the fumble. Number 44. Actually, make that 45, it looked like. There for the Broncos. Britton Chandler broke up that little play that Richmond had going. Actually, was a mishandled handoff there from Jones to Bird.
Yeah, snap looked like it might have been a little low as well.
So Jeff with great field position at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10. There's Wilkerson going to the end zone on the fade route, and he's out of bounds. That'll be incomplete, but a great-looking throw there from Wilkerson, trying to go for Brian Jenkins, number 5, there on the sideline. They'll bring up 2nd and 10, but the Broncos still going to go hurry up here. 2 to the right, 1 to the left as far as receivers. Handoff up the middle to Munoz. Munoz going left, and he breaks tackles and gets to the house. Touchdown, Broncos.
Yards after contact on that one for Munoz. He broke a few tackles and scurried his way into the end zone for 6 more points for the Broncos. Power football here. Speed power football, though. It's an interesting offense they run.
It really is. Score comes with 4:20 left in the first quarter. In to kick this one for the Broncos, as again they go with the swinging gate. Looks like they're actually going to go for the extra point here. Bit of a high snap, that the hold is down. Kick is up and good. So add 1 more on the board for Lafayette Jeff High School. It's 13-0. Red Devils trailing Lafayette Jeff here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Finding a used car dealership you can trust is not an easy thing to do, but for me, the choice was an easy one. I went to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond. I purchased my last 2 cars from Tony's and couldn't be happier with the service. They didn't pressure me, and they worked with me through the entire process. If you're in the market for a great used vehicle, get to Tony's Car Sales in Richmond, 250 National Road West, or give them a call at 962-5665, or go to their website, tonyscarsales.com.
Back with you on Radio Troy Digital Sports at Leibold Field as the Red Devils trailing the Lafayette Jeff Broncos 13-0, and the turnover caused that wound for Richmond. Jesse on that one.
Yes, you need to protect the ball, as we talked about. And one other thing about this drive that's coming up, take your time. You know, half of the battle with this team is keeping their defense on the field, keeping the offense off the field, and they can't score points that way. So take your time. No need to run that no huddle, in my opinion, on this drive.
Short kick as this one's fielded by Richmond. Up to the 20. Deloney trying to bounce outside to the 25. Now back toward the middle of the field, and he's brought down at the 27. And that's where Richmond will take over.
Interesting run there, a little bob and weave style there. I call that the Mayweather run back. He just kind of bob and weave and pick and chose his way to a nice return.
So now the Red Devils trying to get this one back on track. As Jones sets up at quarterback once more, he's got trips to the left. One receiver out to the far side, that's Reese. Jones gets the snap, play action. Throw over the middle is a little too high for Huber, but it was catchable, and it falls incomplete.
Was catchable indeed, hit him in the hands, and it just dropped it. One of those plays where you're coming across the middle, and you peek to see who's coming across the middle with you. Keep your eyes on the ball, and you'll catch it.
Sets up 2nd and 10. Again, ball on the 27-yard line for the Red Devils. And they'll stick with the same formation again as Jones gets the play in from head coach Abe Tawfik. And now heads back to the line of scrimmage. It's Huber and Deloney in the slot to the left. As the snap, handoff goes to Bird. Bird finds a hole up the middle, heads out to the far side, and is brought down just shy of the first down. Actually looks to be right out the sticks. Might be a favorable spot in my opinion. But nonetheless, great running by Wyatt Bird, hitting the hole and then turning it upfield.
Most definitely a great run. His first two went for -2 yards. Looks like we have an injured player down, number 79 for the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. That's Francis Ortiz, defensive lineman. But going back to the run, like you said, great run. Showed a burst of speed there. Getting back on track.
It will give the Red Devils a first down as Ortiz is going to get off the field, able to do so under his own power, so that's a good sign there.
Absolutely. Ortiz, a 5'10", 215-pound junior for the Broncos, playing D-line.
First and 10, so they did give Wyatt Bird a first down on that run up to the 38-yard line.
I only gave him 9 yards. That's why they're unofficial, folks.
Nonetheless, the Red Devils are liking that as they've got trips to the left. Another handoff. Actually, no. Jones faked the handoff, tries to move forward. He stuck out the ball, and that was pretty dangerous, but he does get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Still, though, I was a little nervous there, Jess, just sticking that ball out there before you're down. That's just asking for it to get swatted away.
Right. That's only done in the end zone. Fourth carry for tonight, Jones. Fourth carry on the night for Jones, rather. Got 10 yards, so good quarterback mobility, as we said.
2nd and 10 for the Red Devils. Deloney in the slot left. Holguin, the outside receiver. Bit of a high snap for Jones as he tried to do the option play, and that's going to be ruled a fumble. Jeff picks it up. Huber's going to make the tackle, but it is marked down at the 12-yard line.
Number 45, Britton Chandler coming up big again for Lafayette. Jeff picking up that fumble. There's no review in high school football, so it was a fumble, I guess. And they took it back to about the 10-yard line where there's a penalty flag, maybe a horse collar coming on the Richmond Red Devils.
So with that horse collar, that'll make it half the distance to the goal as well. From the 12, that'll put it at the 6-yard line. And not the way Richmond wanted to start out that drive there. They had a great play with Wyatt Bird going up the middle.
Got the first down.
Got the
and
first, and we're
ready
to go.
Eating some time off the clock, rather, with 1:30 on those 3 plays. And the center quarterback exchange has been a little bit off, as well as the running back quarterback exchange. And that's one of the things that you work on all week in practice with a new quarterback, but live games are so much different.
Empty backfield for Wilkerson in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. Quick throw to the end zone, and it's over the head of his intended receiver. That man is Jay Siegel, number 85. Was the man who he was trying to connect with, but it was just over his head, and he would have had to one-handed that very nicely in order to make that catch.
Yeah, Wilkerson looked a little disappointed with himself, running back to the 30-yard line. Knew he had his guy, but he overthrew it there.
Trips left this time for Wilkerson. He has Munoz to his left in the shotgun. Siegel, the lone receiver, to the right. Wilkerson adjusting where his receivers will be as the handoff is faked. And the throw to the end zone is complete. Touchdown for Brian Jenkins on the catch. And just like that, it's another score for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. And so far, Jesse, they've been doing it more or less through the passing game. And we thought Munoz was really going to be the workhorse, but their passing game tonight is very, very crisp and very effective.
Absolutely. Wilkerson right now, 5 of 9, just over 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Segal, 1 to Jenkins. As you said, we expected Munoz to creep towards 1,000 yards tonight, and it looks like the air is where they're getting most of their points as of the moment.
And that point after attempt was a fake, and it goes into the end zone. It was Munoz who took the snap, and he got it into the end zone for 2 points. So now it is a 21-0 lead for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos here in this one. And we'll take a break here and be back after this on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. In a small town, a company like theirs cannot stay in business for as long as they have without being very good at what they do. It's not just about quality work, it's about customer service. If that's the kind of experience you want on your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Call Reynolds Plumbing today at 966-0994.
Back with you here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. It's a 3-score lead now for Lafayette Jeff as they lead the Red Devils 21-0. And again, a turnover just turns into points for the Broncos, and you can't let an offense this effective get that short of a field. That's just asking for 6 points.
Absolutely. 7 seconds, I think they took off the clock there. Went from 2:53 to 2:46, and 7 seconds and 7 points is no equation to be on the wrong side of.
Here's the return for the Red Devils. It's Deloney up past the 25, and then brought down by, a bunch of tacklers for the Broncos. They're going to mark this one at the 29-yard line, and that's where Richmond will start again. And it's been a good starting field night for the Red Devils, but again, like we've seen, the center quarterback exchange has really been kind of the brunt of the problems that the Red Devils have faced here early on.
Yes, exchanges in general between the running back, quarterback, and center have all been a bit off, and maybe the shotgun formation is being used to throw off some of those issues.
High snap, but fielded there by Jones, and he hands off to number 11. That's Ron Sanders, starting free safety for the Red Devils, and now getting a little bit of playing time on offense. And he does a nice job of evading tacklers and picking up 4 yards, making it 2nd and 6 now for the Red Devils.
And I know the Red Devils are banged up, and we talked about that off air in pregame, and I saw Sanders down there, and I said, that kid plays defense? They need to give him the ball.
Played a little bit of offense last season with some injuries going on, and then also played both sides of the ball as well, as Jones fakes the handoff, tries to go up the field himself, and instead loses about 1 yard on the play. Again, the Broncos swarming to the ball carrier. And this now makes it 3rd and 8, actually. Lost a couple of yards there on that play. Just over a minute and a half left in this first quarter. And Again, the Red Devils looking to try and convert on third down here. As Sanders is to Jones' left. Bird to the right. Two receivers out right, and that's Deloney in the slot, Reese, the far receiver, and Holguin by himself on the left side, as we've got whistles on the play and a timeout now for the Richmond Red Devils, their first of the game. And now that will leave them with 2 left in this half. So we'll take a quick break and be back with more Richmond High School football on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Indiana University East is growing. Enrollment has doubled since 2007, and IU East is the university of choice in this region. With athletic programs, internship opportunities, bachelor's and master's degrees, and a growing number of degree programs on campus and online, it is easy to see why IU East is a leader on campus and in the community. Learn more about the many opportunities Indiana University East offers at iue.edu. IU. Focused on you.
Back at Leibolt Field, 21-0. Lafayette Jeff with the lead over the Richmond Red Devils. Third down and 8 coming up. And Jones will work out of the same formation. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. That's Holguin by himself to the left. Snap goes to Jones. Jones evading tacklers. He's picked up the first down up past the 40-yard line. A nice-looking draw play there from Trayshawn Jones, as the rush was on there from the Lafayette Jeff Broncos D-line, and they went right past Jones, and he found some open space and converted to the third down.
Most definitely some elusive running there by Jones.
And that's one thing so far, Jesse, that Richmond has been doing a good job of tonight. They've been doing well on third down.
And this is what I was kind of talking about with the last drive. Get to the line quick, but maybe take your time, make sure all the communication is right, and run the next play. No rush.
Jones looking to throw. That one is tipped, and almost could have been pick 6 there by Lafayette Jeff. Number 3, Quentin Stephanie, was the man who had a beeline to the football, just could not bring it in.
A beeline to the football and a beeline to the end zone. Something in the middle there got a little hairy, but luckily he dropped it, and luckily for Richmond's sake.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Jones was looking for Deloney on that play. He was a little indecisive, I think, when deciding whether to keep it or throw the football there. Nonetheless, here's the handoff now to Ron Sanders. Sanders goes up the middle, evading some tacklers, and is brought down just shy of the 44-yard line. And it'll bring up third down and about 7 on this next play.
And interesting there, I saw Jefferson do something with their defense where they had 4 guys on the line, and then one at the last minute kind of popped out as the linebacker, maybe deterring one of the reads for Jones. Something to look out for in the future.
Did have a man that lost his hat there for Lafayette Jeff. It was number 80, Isaac Alvarez, so he has to come out for one play. Deloney moving into the slot left. Jones takes the snap. Will hand this one off to Bird. Bird hits the hole hard, breaks a tackle, and picks up the first down again. Boy, I like Wyatt Bird running the football.
Absolutely, Kyle. Wyatt got a broken tackle there by Wyatt Bird, fixing his shoulder pad and wondering, why didn't I wrap up?
So that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Your score on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 21-0. As Richmond trails Lafayette Jeff. We'll be back after this with more Richmond High School football on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto, in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians, and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf, and I approve this message.
Back at Leibolt Field, 21-0. The Red Devils trailing the Lafayette Jeff Broncos, but they just converted on a nice pickup on third down and 7 from Wyatt Bird running the football. I tell you, Jesse, when he hits the hole, he just heads upfield immediately.
Yes, absolutely. North-south runner, and he breaks tackles along the way. and a young kid, too, so bright future.
Here's the handoff to Sanders, but it was blasted way in the backfield, back to the 46-yard line of Richmond. So from Lafayette Jeff territory back into Red Devil territory. A big loss there on that one. That'll set him back nearly 10 yards. It'll be 2nd and 20 here on the scoreboard, actually. So he did lose 10.
6 foot, 200-pound junior linebacker Britton Chandler is wreaking havoc tonight from his linebacker position.
He has been everywhere. Jones sending Sanders in motion. There's the snap. Did see some movement prior to that snap. And that might be 5 more backing up for the Red Devils. It is going to be a 5-yard false start penalty, making it 2nd and 25 now.
4th penalty tonight for the Red Devils. 31 yards in those 4 penalties. All on offense.
That's correct. As well on that turnover when they had the fumble. The tackle was down at the 12, but had a 15-yard horse collar. That was only half the distance to the goal. So now 2nd and 23. Here's Jones. He's going to go out left. Thought about pitching and probably should have to Sanders. And he's going to lose more yardage, about 5 more yards, back to the Richmond 36-yard line.
Seems as if I write positive yards and then negative yards and then positive yards and then negative yards. It's tough to string 2 consecutive positive plays together against this defense right now.
Huber comes in for Ron Sanders. Looks like he'll be one of the slot guys to the right on this play for Jones, who's again in shotgun. I've not seen one snap under center for either of these teams so far tonight. Here's Jones rolling out to the right, trying to evade some pressure. He'll roll out right, still on his feet, up to the 45, to the 50, and that's about where he's brought down. There is a flag on the field right there just shy of the 50. And we'll see if this may be a hold or a block in the back. More than likely, it's going to be a block in the back against the Red Devils. And if I'm Lafayette Jeff, I might as well just decline this penalty. He's going to be 4th down anyway.
And I think the Red Devils may go for it.
They just may. Again, it's at that awkward distance for them, and it's kind of in no man's land as far as field position goes, so why not give it a go? But it looks like they are going to send their punt guys on the field.
15-yard run there. That's a pretty nice run.
Yes, it was. Great job not hesitating there for Trayshawn Jones, just going with what the defense gave him and cutting it upfield, cutting back toward the middle. So it's Gerald Deloney back to punt here for the Red Devils. Snap is a little high. He one-hands it and still gets it off. Great job by Deloney. And the return is on for the Broncos. There's a flag down. Returner still on his feet to the 30, to the 40. This one might be coming back. He's still on his feet into Richmond territory again. And finally tackled inside the 40 of Richmond at the 36. But there is a flag, Jesse, all the way back at the Lafayette Jeff 24-yard line.
Missed tackle there by Julian Hoagland for the Red Devils. Could have got that back at the 10-yard line. It may be back where it's going to be now with the holding on that return. Maybe why it was sprung so long, but special teams right now.
Boy, you got to give credit to Gerald Deloney, though. That snap, he had to one-hand it just to bring it down, and then he got that punt off, which I was very surprised.
That's what I was going to say. That catch of the night. Right there it was. One-handed, and then getting the punt off was pretty impressive as well.
Man on the return was number 14, Avery Walker for Lafayette Jeff. And he did an excellent job staying on his feet, making moves to get himself free.
Yeah, ran into Seth Jones on the way to the end zone, or he might have scored.
So Wilkerson is back on the field. He'll set up with 4 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. And we've got another timeout as Richmond was rushing players onto the field.
Yes, it looked like Vincent Narcisse, had not made it on the field yet. And boy, Brian Jenkins was letting his quarterback know, maybe a little too obvious, jumping and throwing his arms. Hey, nobody's guarding me. Nobody's guarding. Just give him that eye contact, and he'll snap the ball.
Just over 9.5 minutes, rather, here in the second quarter. And again, Richmond still down 21-0 to Lafayette Jeff. But so far in offense, Jess, outside of the obvious mistakes with the penalties and those turnovers, the last few plays from the Red Devils offensively have been pretty good. Jones making some moves when he really had nothing going there, trying to gain back as much yards as he could on that third down and long. But eventually, I think this offense could find some things that click together.
Yes.
Here's Jeff as it's a swing pass from Wilkerson out to the far side, and that man could be gone.
He gone.
He's to the 40, the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. That is a touchdown for Lafayette Jeff. Bishop Johnson.
86 yards to the house.
Put 6 more on the board for Lafayette Jeff. It's 27-0 now, pending the extra point from the Broncos, and that is just how quick this Broncos offense can get it done. And again, it's the passing game that is working very well for Lafayette Jeff so far. And the Broncos again going with the swinging gate. Never know if they're going to actually kick the extra point, which it looks like that is what they will do here. Actually, it looked like they were going to set up for a 2-point conversion. There is a flag on the play, and that'll be encroachment on Richmond. So that'll be half the distance to the goal. Instead of the 3, it'll be at the 1.5. And if I'm Lafayette Jeff, I might try and do it again and maybe then just straight up go for 2 at that point. And that's what they'll do. It's a toss play to Munoz, and he gets in for 2 points. Another time that Munoz gets the 2-point conversion. And on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 29-0. Red Devils trailing the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. We're back with more on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
The Purdue Polytechnic Institute in Richmond is part of a statewide network that offers the same technology degrees available in West Lafayette. The benefit of earning your degree at the Richmond location is that the campus is small enough to provide you with dedicated one-to-one attention while you earn your degree from Purdue University. Purdue Polytechnic of Richmond. Give them a call at 973-8228 or go to their website for more information at polytechnic.purdue.edu.
Back with you on Radio Troy Digital Sports alongside Jesse Ochoa. I'm Eric Benton on this beautiful night for high school football here in Richmond, Indiana. Our Leibolt Field, the place for the game tonight. And Lafayette Jeff showing why they are one of the best teams in the NCC, and if not, maybe Class 6A as well. Coming into this one 6-0 and having a 29-0 lead now over Richmond to this point with 9:19 to go in this second quarter. And we saw during the pregame, Jesse, Lafayette Jeff brought a lot of guys to this game and might be able to see a lot of those guys here tonight. Here's the kick going to the near sidelines. It will be fielded by Deloney at the 20. Making a move to the 25, up the sideline to the 30, and brought down just past that point. They will mark this one at the 32-yard line. So, again, good starting field position for the Red Devils. Let's see if they can try and put some plays together and get this one down the field and maybe get some points on the board here.
Good starting field position, like you said. Been pretty solid field position to start off with all night. Decent returns in the kicking game. Stringing a few of those successful plays together will be the key to getting some points on the board here.
It's Jones in the shotgun. He moves Sanders in motion. He'll fake the pitch. Now tries to cut it back up the middle, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. The option play not really there, as Jones actually lost his hat, so he'll have to come out for a play. And into the game for Richmond will be number 12. That is Alex Snediger. Snediger, again, will have to be quarterback on this play. as Jones lost his helmet, but he'll be able to return after this play. So Snedeker lines up in shotgun, a couple of running backs, one to each side of him. Two receivers to his right, one to the left. Bird moves in motion to the left as this handoff goes up the middle to Sanders, and he's brought down at the 35. Had a flag pre-snap, or post-snap rather, and it looks like it's going to be an illegal shift against the Red Devils. That'll back them up 5 more yards and make it 2nd and 15 on that play.
And Coach Tofik wants a better explanation on that.
Yeah, we saw that similar motion when Sanders did it the play previous, and it looked to me like Bird just did the same thing. Nonetheless, the referee saw it differently. And now it's 2nd and 15.
They usually do.
That is correct. Again, Bird moves in motion. The handoff this time goes to Sanders, and he is stood up and driven backwards at about the 25-yard line, so he loses a couple of yards there. And just like that, it is 3rd and long again. It'll be 3rd and 17 officially.
Looks like the interior blocking for the Red Devils is pretty solid, but once they get to that edge, it seems like they're always met by a Bronco defender, if not more than one.
So Jones back into the ballgame now. After sitting out that last play, he's got trips to his left. Tramel Carpenter, one of the receivers in the slot, along with Gerald Deloney. And then it is Holguin, the far side receiver, and then Cody Reese to the right. Jones takes the snap, looks to throw, now trying to cut up field, but he's going to be met in the backfield again. And he is driven down hard there. And that'll bring up a 4th down situation here for the Red Devils.
Big number 97, Peyton Price, freshman, 6'1", 280-pound defensive tackle for Lafayette Jeff. Drove him into the ground there. A little late, I felt, but nonetheless, the referee saw it differently.
4th and 19 now for Richmond. Deloney is back to punt this one. He was lucky to get off his last punt. He's able to do so as Bird rushes to the sidelines. 1 on the play clock, and they get it off. Deloney, this one a line drive, takes a couple of bounces along the turf, and the return is on again. This time it's number 85, that's Segal rather. He's back up to the 30, still on his feet, and finally drugged down at the 30-yard line. We do have a flag at the 40 of Richmond.
Maybe coming back here as the coaching staff for Lafayette Jeff heads back on the other side of the 50.
And we'll take a look and see what the call will be. Here from head referee Ron Wentz. And a personal foul against the Broncos will back them up 15 yards from the spot of the foul, rather. So this will move the ball back into Lafayette Jeff territory, but just barely, as it'll be marked at the 47-yard line on the far hash.
Just the 2nd penalty for Lafayette Jeff tonight, 6th overall in the game total. So fairly clean ball game thus far.
Now the Broncos will be back on the field with their offense, which has done major damage here as of late. 4 receivers to the left for Wilkerson, 1 lone to the right. Wilkerson has time, throws it down the middle, and he overshoots his intended target. Good coverage there by Richmond, who's trying to find Segal there.
Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the route as Segal stopped at the top of it and then kind of posted in. So maybe a little miscommunication, and by the time he got where the ball was, it was a little too late.
2nd and 10 now for the Broncos, leading at 29-0 over the Red Devils at this point. Just under 6.5 minutes to go in the first half of action here at Leibolt Field. And coming in motion, that's Segal to the left. Wilkerson takes the snap, throws to Segal. The ball is caught, and a great tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Actually going to result in a loss of 1 as Julian Holguin makes the tackle from his corner spot.
8th complete pass for Lafayette Jeff tonight, but the first one for negative yards. You take those.
Yes. That'll bring up 3rd and 11. Trips to the right for Wilkerson. One lone receiver to the left. And Munoz to his right in the backfield. Wilkerson rolls right, throws downfield, and the ball is caught. And that should have been 6 had Brian Jenkins kept his balance. Nonetheless, a great gain down to the Richmond 26-yard line. And a fresh set of downs for the Broncos.
You said it right there, Eric. Should have been 6. A little bit underthrown, I think. Could have hit him in stride and saved him from having to recatch his balance and ended up tripping. So if that ball was on the money, we'd be looking at a 35-0 ball game right now. Flag in the air.
Wilkerson looking to throw, throws out to the right, and that one's deflected.
Great coverage.
Great coverage there on the defensive end. Trying to see who that was. That looked like Huber. There on the far side of the field, knocking the ball away. Actually, you said, Jesse, it looks like Ron Sanders.
Believe it was number 11, Ron Sanders, or maybe it was number 41 back there, Mikey Vance.
We're going to call illegal procedure on the Broncos, so that'll back them up 5, making it 1st and 15, back to the 41-yard line of Richmond. So now the Broncos will... So we've got another whistle here as we're just under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Now the officials gathering, trying to talk out the situation.
Let's talk it out.
So now they're coming to the Richmond sidelines asking what they want. And I'm sure they say, hey, we want some points. Give us some points here. You got to give him credit, though, to Lafayette Jeff. This offense is probably the best I've seen all year in the North Central Conference, and it's easy to see why. They've got a lot of playmakers on any aspect of the ball.
They do. They have a lot of talent at the skill positions. You got both wide receivers, number 5, Brian Jenkins, number 7, Bishop Johnson, of course. The running back, we know, Munoz.
So they come out of the full house set, and now 3 men move into the slot on the right side. Here comes another receiver to the right. It's Jenkins, but he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Great tackle. Ron Sanders in on the play. A flag comes in toward the end of that play. We'll wait and see what the call is here.
Great defense there, getting to the edge before the rusher got there. Looked like a clean tackle in the backfield, so it must have been something there on the interior line. And Lafayette Jeff is backing up, so that appears to be a holding call against Lafayette Jefferson. Or maybe not, as the referee shrugs his shoulders. Maybe you decline it here and get the down.
Perhaps,
and
yes.
Loss of yardage as opposed to the yardage that you would get resulting from a hold, and that's what they'll do.
You are exactly right on that play, Jesse, and they will take the loss on the play, making it 2nd and 20 from the 46-yard line for Lafayette Jeff. Wilkerson in shotgun. He'll take the snap, rolls out left, sets and fires. He's got a man down the field, and it is caught. What a contested catch by Bishop Johnson, a 46-yard completion for the touchdown, and puts 6 more on the board for the Broncos. Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah, and it looks like they were so close to a sack there. I believe Sanders, he jumped and mistimed his jump. Maybe just should have went for the sack instead of the ball there, and ended up being a touchdown on the other end. Beautiful pass there.
A little underthrown, but a great job by Johnson coming back to the football and then contesting it with the defender. Again, if both men have possession, the tie will go to the offensive player. Looks like Jeff's going to try the extra point here. They get Richmond to jump. Kick is up on the way and good. And And that'll add one more for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 36-0. Lafayette Jeff rolling over Richmond on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Mancino's is family-friendly, serving fresh grinders, pizza, pasta, and salads daily. They serve great food priced for family budgets. And whether it's one of their homemade grinders, salads, or pizza, there's sure to be something for everyone in your family. Our baking process may cost a little more and take more time, but the end result of freshness and flavor make the real difference in all of Mancino's award-winning products. Mancino's of Richmond. Give them a call at 966-1161 or go to their website, mancinosofrichmond.com.
Back with you at Leibolt Field as Lafayette Jeff continues to roll. Now 36-0 leaders over the Richmond Red Devils with 4:49 left in the first half of action. Again, Richmond declined the opening, or deferred on the opening kickoff, so they will get the ball to start the third quarter. They're going to have quite a hole to dig out of in this one. Jeff ready to start this one back up again. Here's the kick. Deloney heading to the near sidelines, makes the catch at the 15. He's to the 20, to the 25, and just past the 30 again. Great return by Gerald Deloney, and that's about where Richmond has started all night, Jesse, is around the 30-yard line. Been a couple of exceptions to that on the first possession where Lafayette Jeff failed on fourth down. They started a little further toward midfield, but the 30-yard line has kind of been their home so far tonight.
In more ways than one, unfortunately. They haven't moved much from that area when they do get the ball, and I'm not sure if they've crossed midfield since that opening drive, so let's see if we can get there.
Sanders in motion as Jones takes the snap. He'll try and go off the left side toward the middle of the field. He does get positive yardage up to the 34-yard line. A couple of yards gained on that play. And we do have a man down here for Richmond. Can't quite make out the number of that player, so we'll hold off on identifying, and we'll actually take a break here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. 36-0 Lafayette Jeff over the Red Devils.
As an internet service provider, Parallax Systems offers reliable residential high-speed internet service and business service. With a fiber backbone reaching over 150 miles, we have created a multifaceted delivery system. Our dark fiber leasing has proved beneficial to public and private sectors alike. Parallax serves Wayne County and surrounding areas. Parallax Systems, when speed matters, a division of Richmond Power and Light.
Back with you at Leibolt Field here. 4:31 left in the second quarter. And we do have a player down for Richmond again. Can't quite make out the number of that player, but he is getting up. It's number 54 for Richmond. And he is not listed on our roster, so but he is up, getting a little bit of assistance. Getting a little bit of assistance to the sidelines. It looks like it's his left leg that is bothering him. Where is the injured party there? So, but he is getting help to the sidelines, and that's always a good sign. So Richmond will have to go deep into their bench again, which has just been an unfortunate part of this season for Richmond, has been the injury bug. Seemingly every game it's like they've been bitten by it. Again, it's that next man up mentality. Here comes Deloney over to the left side in motion, into the slot. Wyatt Bird also in motion. Jones will fake the throw, lost the football, got it back, but he's going to lose yardage back to the 30-yard line. And we've seen a lot of trouble with this particular kind of play here, Jess. It's kind of an option read, and Jones has been having trouble trying to get through on the either side of the line, really, once he cuts it to the tackle level.
Right, and he's also being a little free with how he carries the ball. So that may have a little effect on situations like that where I feel like the snap was good, the transition was fine, handled that ball a little more like a running back.
3rd and 12 for the Red Devils. High snap, and Jones going to keep this one. He's up to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, past midfield, and down to the Lafayette Jeff 45. And Trayshawn Jones picks up the first down.
Nice 25-yard run there. Like we said earlier, once it gets out in the open field there, you see the speed and long strides. But it looks like there is a chop block or some type of cut block that'll bring this one back.
And that is a tough penalty.
Absolutely. It looks like it was going to be on number 5 for the Red Devils. That is Deloney, or excuse me, well, we both caught a cough here. Deloney, he was pleading his case as soon as he did it, and he kind of, I believe, lost his balance and tripped into him. Was pleading his case as soon as he did it. The referee still threw the flag, and he was kind of upset with the fact that, he wasn't granted the benefit of the doubt in that situation.
Richmond does take a timeout, their last of the half, with 3:21 left here in the second quarter. We'll keep it right here as we. Yeah, that was a great play by Trayshawn Jones. Finally found a hole where not a lot of Lafayette Jeff players were.
Right.
And did a great job cutting it upfield, picking up big yardage there on 3rd and 12. But now he'll be facing about a 3rd and 13 after that penalty brings him back from the spot of the foul. So,
absolutely. Looks like they're going to be pretty much in the same position they were just in. Maybe we can do the same play?
I got a feeling that the Broncos may have an idea of what that might be now. Ball is marked back at the 29-yard line of Richmond. So you go from being on the Lafayette Jeff 44 back to your own 29. That's a tough thing right there. So now Jones comes out of the huddle. He's got 2 receivers to his right. That's Reese on the far side and Deloney in the slot on the right. Here's the snap. The toss play out to Sanders. Sanders finds a hole to the 40, the 50, to the 45, cutting back to the middle of the field. 30, 25, 20, 15, and just tripped up. But what a run by Ron Bubba Sanders into the red zone, and it's 1st and 10.
And a little spark onto the sideline of Richmond. Beautiful pitch. Excellent one cut upfield, north-south running by these running backs that Richmond has brought out tonight. Great play by Ron Bubba Sanders, as you said, and I couldn't believe he didn't play offense before when I got here. Don't have anything to do with it, but I love the decision, and I would imagine he's going to get the ball quite a few more times. Quite a few.
2:45 left in the second quarter. Sanders still in there to Jones's right in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Fakes handoff, maybe a busted play, but Jones did a nice job cutting it up the middle and brought down just shy of the 10-yard line. And again, that play didn't look quite kosher there. Looked like he was thought about handing off to Sanders,
right,
but it was way too late.
Yeah, that's one of the plays that I was pointing out there in the first half where maybe he's a little indecisive, but he's so quick in his acceleration getting it into the hole, just like that.
Jones keeps it again and gets another little bit of yardage there just inside the 10 to the 9, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5. They can get the first without scoring if they get it about to the 5-yard line.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a run-pass option here for the quarterback. He's got both of his running backs in there with him, Bird and Sanders, and they're doing a little communicating off script before the play.
Here's the handoff. It goes to Sanders, cutting upfield, dragging tacklers with him inside the 5, down to the 2. And a 1st down for the Red Devils.
And Ron Sanders is now the leading carrier on the Richmond team for the game. Sniffing that end zone. The whole darn team wanted that one.
1:35 to go.
I think Sanders just motioned to the coach, give me the ball again. I'm not sure if that's what he said, but the motions were, please hand me the rock.
Referees conversing now at the 2-yard line. And that was a great pickup by Ron Sanders again, dragging tacklers with him.
And here's what I would do if I was the Richmond Red Devils, and I think they're going to. Take your time. You got 1 minute and 30 seconds. 4 downs to get into the end zone, and you're getting the ball coming out of half. No need to give Lafayette Jefferson the ball back with more than 30 seconds in this half. Of course, if you can score, but let that clock run right now. You got 20 seconds.
Jones fakes the handoff, and he's brought down at the 5-yard line hard. There's a flag on the play. You spotted that out there quickly, Jess.
Yes, sir.
Not sure of what that would be. I would imagine, again, it's a hold, and that's what it is. It'll be a hold on the Red Devils. 10-yard penalty backs him up to the 12-yard line. But I think in this sense, Jesse, with Richmond running that spread offense, that gives them more room to work with, does it not?
Absolutely. 6 penalty for 50 yards there, so nothing great. But like you said, it does allow them a few extra yards if you're going to pass the ball. If you're going to continue with this run, triple option deal with Sanders, Bird, and Jones, I feel like you'd want to be right up on the line. But if you're going to throw the ball here, an extra 5 yards gives you a little bit of playroom.
Preliminary call was a decline on the penalty. It looks like it's been accepted by the judge.
And it was a taunting penalty, according to the public address.
Interesting situation there as Lafayette Jeff takes a timeout. They've got 2 left in the half. So that actually backs up Richmond to the 16-yard line. 15-yard penalty, I assume, on that play. And again, I thought initially it was a hold, and Lafayette Jeff declined the penalty, which I didn't quite understand, but nonetheless, they back it up 15 yards instead of 10. That was a weird situation right there. 36-0, Lafayette Jeff with the lead, but Richmond is knocking on the door with 124 left.
Still 4 downs to get in. Yeah, 16 yards, so quite a bit further than you wanted to go, but nonetheless. The down marker, however, reads second down. The screen
unless the taunt was after the play,
right.
That's all I could assume there.
I'm not sure if it is a dead ball foul, and it looks like it is going to be second down and goal from the 16-yard line. So the yard marker now goes to first, and the sticks aren't extended, so it is going to be first and goal from the 16-yard line.
And Richmond will come out. Interesting formation here. Sanders up closer to the line as Jones gets the snap. Trying to roll right. He goes and throws, and it was out of Bubba Sanders' hands. They have been trying to peek, as you mentioned on an earlier play there, Jesse, and just took his eyes off the football. He did have some space, but Jeff had some defenders in the area.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say Jones there was being chased by Holmes for Lafayette Jeff, and he just hasn't got a good opportunity tonight to be on the run and set his feet, except for that first pass he completed for 20 yards or so in the first quarter. And that's what I think they want, to get that roll and set your feet, but he just hasn't got enough time to stop and fire and accurately throw that ball.
1:20 left. Second and goal from the 16. Jones in shotgun. That one's bobbled on the ground. Ball is still loose on the turf. And Lafayette Jeff picks up the football.
Tough break there for Richmond. We've talked about it all night. The center quarterback exchange, whether it be under center, which I don't think we've seen tonight except for in pregame, pistol, shotgun, or any other non-under center formation, there has been issues with exchanging the ball. And that time it came at the worst time probably for the Richmond Red Devils, especially when they're in scoring position.
So now with 1:15, Jeff has the ball. Got to get 81 yards to the end zone. Wilkerson takes a snap. He loses the football. Ball still on the turf. There is Richmond to recover it. It's Richmond football at the 3-yard line of Jeff.
Richmond football, and the spark is once again reignited as Richmond football at the 2-yard line. The sideline is going crazy. The band is getting into it as they come onto the field. And 1 minute and 8 seconds to punch this ball into the end zone. That can be your only goal here. I feel like 3 points does you no good.
Exactly right, Jess. You got to take advantage of this right now. And again, you don't have to be in such a hurry. Jones gets the snap, rolls right, looks to throw, but it was well over the head and behind Ron Sanders there. Although I think Jones did have a little bit of space where he could have used his legs there and tried to get it outside and run it in.
I believe so, too, and maybe that was what there's three coaches here at the end of the Richmond bench that were motioning something up to the press box. Right next to us is where the Richmond coaches sit, and maybe he was motioning to get him into space there.
Second and goal, ball on the 3-yard line. Jones takes the snap, hands off. Wyatt Bird off the left side, and he is stuffed hard right around the line of scrimmage. Yeah, did not go down. He actually popped out of that swarm and was still trying to go forward. Third down and goal here. 45 seconds and counting left on the clock.
I like that. Once again, as we spoke of, there's no rush. Make sure everything is in line here. And a false start penalty, I believe, is going to push Richmond back 5 yards. It is going to be their 7th penalty on the night. And this is going to be the 60th yard that they've lost due to penalties.
So that backs him up to the 8-yard line.
61st, unofficial.
And now they wind the clock as the referee signals ready for play. So 30 seconds and counting now. Third and goal on the 8. Jones, and again, another bobbled snap. Ball is on the turf, and Lafayette Jeff gets it again.
And at this point, I'm not sure what you do from a coaching perspective. I've yet to see the two work on the snap on the sideline, and you would think that would be one of the first things that is addressed. And it looks like Jones is quite frustrated right there. And one thing that I think a coach is probably telling him as he gets off the sideline, that's cost us now, just dive on it. Mm-hmm. Just lose the 4 yards in the down instead of the football in the field position.
22.4 left on the clock here in the first half. And the Broncos have it on the 15-yard line. Wilkerson in at quarterback. Takes the snap. Throws out in the flat. Ball is caught. Here goes Lafayette Jeff. It is Seagal, and he's brought down just shy of midfield.
And boy, was he moving.
Yes, he was. Brought down from behind by a couple of Richmond defenders, and Lafayette Jeff takes a timeout. So we will as well on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 36-0. Lafayette Jeff with the lead and rolling again here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
At the Reed Orthopedic Center, our physicians and support team devote themselves to helping you return to a healthy and active lifestyle. Our expertise includes shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, wrist, hip, and knee injuries, as well as pain management and rehabilitation, and school athletic training programs and sports medicine. We are committed to providing you with the best possible orthopedic treatment that we can. To request an appointment at the Reed Orthopedic Center, call 765-935-8905.
Back at Leibold Field, 36-0, and Lafayette Jeff moving the football almost into Richmond territory now. They're on their own 47-yard line with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, and 13.1 seconds to work with. They also have one timeout left here in the half. Wilkerson coming out with trips to the left, one lone receiver out to the right. Munoz is the running back. Wilkerson rolling out left, has time, sets his feet, and fires. That is a beaut down the field, and the ball is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jenkins, the wide receiver. Just could not hold on to that one, and he was all alone down there.
Looks like Tyrus Jenkins got to the quarterback just in the nick of time to make sure that one didn't hit him in stride. Otherwise, we might be talking about 6 more points, and as we stressed in the drive prior, they cannot score here.
2nd and 10, 6.2 seconds left.
Probably the last play.
Two receivers to either side. Wilkerson takes the snap, throws it down the sidelines, up and over the head of Seagal. And he has 2.1 seconds left. So one more play now for Jeff, and 3rd and 10 here.
And you see defensive backs for the Richmond Red Devils motioning drop back as far as we can here. We're playing prevent defense, 3 deep, whatever you want to call it, making sure no guys get behind you and nothing gets over your head.
Wilkerson rolling out right, sets his feet and fires. That one's going to be picked off. Julian Holguin gets the pick. He's up to the 30, to the 35, the 40, up the sidelines to the 50, to the 40, and brought down at just past the 35. But a great interception from Julian Holguin to end the half, with Richmond down 36-0 here to the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. We do have some whistles here post-play. Looked like some jawing there after the interception return.
And possibly a penalty here. Defensive penalties can't end a half or a game. We could get one untimed down here, but they're motioning their football team to the locker room. Penalties offset here.
So the penalties will offset again, and this is halftime now. So on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 36-0. Richmond down, going into the locker room against the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. We'll take a break, give you the sights and sounds of the Richmond High School Marching Band, and then we'll give you a first half recap here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Not all insurance agents are the same. Choosing the right one can make a big difference in price, service, and value. That's why you should choose Harrington Hoke Insurance. As an independent agent, they don't work for an insurance company. They work for you, the client. And their job is to get to know you, your family, and your business so that they can help you develop an insurance plan that is just for you. Serving Richmond and all of Indiana since 1933, Harrington Hoke Insurance, we got this.
Hi, this is Steve Funkhauser, and I was talking to someone the other day about how friendly and professional the crew at Jiffy Lube is, and they said, "You are always so upbeat. I'm going to call you Mr. Positive." And so now I am Mr. Positive. And I want you to know how proud I am of you and that you are doing a great job today. And hey, do something nice for somebody. Make somebody smile. Smiles are contagious, you know. I want you to have a great day and the horse you rode in on. Jiffy Lube. Fast, friendly, professional. I'm Mr. Positive, and I approve this message.
Drive in for the win and drive out with savings. It's a savings drive only at Wetzel Ford. Choose from our huge selection and drive away with a win. Right now, you can lease a 2017 Fusion S for only $249 a month for 36 months. Or lease a 2018 Flex for only $339 a month for 36 months. Or save over $4,500 and get 1.9% APR for 60 months on our huge selection of F-150 XLTs. Drive in for great savings during the Savings Drive at Wetzel Ford, Richmond.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Back with you on Radio Troy Digital Sports as we bring you the Richmond High School Marching Band.
she decides to try sailing down onto New Jersey, but falls shortly thereafter.
Who picked that off, remember? For Richmond? Number 7, Julian Hoagland.
You're welcome. This number will highlight our senior cadet members. Lay in mind. To your right, Dennis Lewis, Jason Vargas, and Alexis Wright.
And that is the Richmond High School Marching Band. Wonderful performance here at a halftime. As on your scoreboard, it's 36-0 Lafayette Jeff Broncos leading the Richmond High School Red Devils. Joined by Jesse Ochoa, I'm Eric Benton, here covering the game on Radio Troy Digital Sports. And, Jess, you've been tabulating a lot of statistics over there. Again, unofficial, but why don't you go ahead and give us some of the numbers that have determined the outcome of this game.
Copy that, and we will start, of course, with the Richmond Red Devils. And your quarterback, Trayshawn Jones, is your leading rusher on the evening as far as carries, and that is probably due to that spread option style offense that they're now running. 14 carries, 40 yards. He's only thrown the ball 5 times and completed his first pass to Huber, and that was in the first quarter on the first drive, so not too much in the passing game since that first quarter. Wyatt Bird, 6 carries, 20 yards. Huber has a carry for 2 yards. And as we've mentioned, Ron Bubba Sanders giving sparks to the offense. He's got 6 carries for 53 yards. One thing that has been driving the offense further back is the fumbles. And we've talked about this off air and on air. 5 fumbles there for the Richmond Red Devils. 2 probably you could almost chalk up as costing them points on the fumbles themselves. So that's a mistake they'll need to clean up, as well as the 7 penalties, all offensive, for 62 yards there in the first half. On the defensive side of the ball, Hall and Davis, big on the defensive line all night. Hall with 2 hurries, Davis with the big sack, and, of course, Hoagland with the big interception to make sure no more points were scored heading into the halftime. 30-plus yard return on that interception, so that was a good spark to get back into the locker room, get that juice in you, and get back out here. And as we've talked about, average starting field position there for Richmond is the 32-yard line. So what did you see, Eric, that maybe defies the stats or agrees with the stats in that first half that they could go back to?
Well, I think definitely they can keep going through Ron Sanders. I mean, that kid definitely provided something a little different that I think Richmond has missed all year offensively. If I'm head coach Tawfiq, I keep thinking about putting him in on the offense and giving him those carries that he deserves, because he really kept Richmond in the ballgame there. Those big runs that got him deep into Lafayette Jeff territory. And again, Richmond just seemingly got in their own way with the fumbles down there twice in the red zone and could not convert from such a short distance. So I think that definitely rings true, that Ron Sanders is a guy that you want to get behind and kind of keep feeding the ball to, because he is a playmaker. He can do a lot of good things for you on the offensive end.
We saw that one cut ability there. You might be wondering how he has 53 yards and had a 70-yard run. It's because they've had a lot of trouble there, and he's been the guy falling on a fumble, which counts as negative yardage. So like you said, he's the guy, I think, going forward that the ball needs to be given to in terms of skill position guys. 6 carries, 53 yards, but the one for 70 yards, making that one cut straight up the field.
And another thing, too, I think Trayshawn Jones, for what those stats show us, it's kind of misleading, because he has been under duress pretty much all night. Once he gets outside of the tackles, it seems like Lafayette Jeff is just right there immediately and trying to make a play. So let's not discredit Trayshawn Jones in that sense, because he has had to do a lot with his feet, probably more than he was expecting here tonight. But for what he has done, it's definitely promising. Again, this is one of those kids that has not played football before. He just started playing football this year and originally started out at wide receiver. He's now moved to the quarterback spot out of necessity due to injuries. And for what he's done okay. It hasn't been the best, but it hasn't been too bad. And again, those center to quarterback exchanges, he hasn't had a lot of time with those.
Right.
So with more game experience and getting used to the shotgun snap, I think he'll be okay once this season turns around.
And now looking at the stats for Lafayette Jefferson, their quarterback Wilkerson is 9 for 17 on the night, nearly 200 yards through the air, and 4 big TDs through the air. What we thought would be the big story of the evening, their running back Munoz, only 6 carries on the night. He's got about 50 yards and 1 TD that he added in the first quarter. And then as far as the receiving core, good night. Going to be a good time on the bus back home.
Oh, yeah.
Jenkins, 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Johnson, 2 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Brown has caught the ball twice for 36 yards, and Segal has 3 catches for over 80 yards and a touchdown as well. Their team has been penalized 4 times. 3 times it has been accepted, so it cost the team 30 yards. And, of course, late in the first half there, Richmond declined one of those penalties.
So definitely a Lafayette Jeff-filled game, especially on offense. Again, I was very surprised that their passing game was so crisp tonight. Now, Wilkerson did have that one fumble deep in their own territory, but again, the Jeff defense pounced on a fumble of Richmond's own. So that mistake, thankfully for them, did not come back and bite them, but they have had a couple of mistakes tonight. Again, the first drive, they were stopped on 4th down, and then, of course, on one of the drives, they had that fumble by Wilkerson. But other than that, it has been a flawless night offensively, it seems, for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos.
And I left off the interception because it was more or less desperation. Yeah. I'm going to throw it as far as I can, and if we score, we score. If not, doesn't matter.
So, again, on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, about 3 minutes away from the restart of this game in quarter number 3, 36-0 Lafayette Jeff with the lead. So now, Jesse, coming into the second half, we've seen what Richmond has done offensively. They've shown flashes of brilliance, again, with Ron Sanders and Trayshawn Jones. What kind of adjustments or what kind of things do you think they'll work on here in the second half? It doesn't look promising on the scoreboard, but a couple of scores here and there can change the tide of the ball game.
Right, and as we spoke about at the beginning of the broadcast, it's kind of the morale of the whole season. Could swing here in the second half. You get some points on the board. So, of course, the quarterback-center exchange needs to be addressed, as we spoke about. And the other thing I would do is slow down your offense. Give the guys a little bit more time to be on their P's and Q's and execute everything properly. Now, the drawback with that is that gives the defense the exact same time to do the exact same thing. So the execution level has to be top-notch. But that's one thing I would do. Kind of slow the game down and keep the offense for Jeff off the field.
And for Lafayette Jeff, obviously, the way things are going here, you just got to keep doing what you're doing and they'll be fine. But what do you think Jeff has to address here in the second half? Not a whole lot I could see.
No, not a whole lot. I'm sure coaches I know coaches find several things that they can address, and I'm sure they talked about the penalties and things of that nature. But one thing that they will address probably is the big play. That's the only thing that Richmond has been able to get on them. They haven't had many consistent 5-10-yard plays, but the gash plays have been there, 2 or 3 of them. So that's the really only thing I see them needing to limit, and they should be fine in the second half.
So again, on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, it's 36-0, Richmond down to Lafayette Jeff. We'll take a quick break and be back from the start of the second half here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Summit Computer Systems is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware service, support, design services, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and more. Summit Computers, 1427 Chester Boulevard in Richmond. Give them a call at 939-2120.
Back here on Radio Troy Digital Sports as the Richmond Red Devils trail the Lafayette Jeff Broncos here as we're about to start the third quarter. Score is 36-0. Again, I'm Eric Banton alongside my good buddy Jesse Ochoa. We've been calling games since 2008.
We've been at this for nearly a decade, folks, and you can't tell, can you? There was a large hiatus in there, but Richmond is getting excited there at their 25-yard line here at Richmond High School, a beautiful campus. Going to kick off the second half here in just a moment as both teams seem to be returning to their sidelines. The PA is getting the crowd involved as well as the Richmond Red Devil team. They're giving themselves a little bit more energy and hopefully going to come out here with a little positive momentum.
And again, Richmond is going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So, again, you build on that momentum of the interception there at the end of the first half, and you try and build off of that and get a good solid drive here to start quarter number 3. And if they can do that, I think this team is going to start coming together.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like you're looking at the sideline. That's not a sideline that's down 36 points.
Yeah.
They seem to be in a fairly good space mentally. So I attribute that to the coaches, first and foremost, and the second to the kids, or maybe the opposite way. Good, tough-minded kids, good coaching together. I like the morale. I see down on their sideline coming out down 36 points, 0-6 on the season. No quit out there I see right now.
Exactly,
That's awesome to see coming out.
Mm-hmm. And, again, it is going to take some time. Coach Toffee, again, this is only his first season.
Rome wasn't built in one day.
Exactly. Yes, indeed. I know somebody who said that not that long ago. He's a pretty good guy. And but going back to Coach Toffee, again, he got his coaching start at Northwest High School and turned that program around from 0-10 to 2 5-5 straight seasons. So he definitely knows how to get the morale up of a team, and I think he knows how to just build and gel them together.
Absolutely, and as we get started for the second half here, left foot is going to be into the ball here as Carpenter and Deloney are back to receive. Going to get the ball here at about the 25-yard line and get it past the 30 to the 32 where he is tackled. That was Gerald Deloney, excuse me, here with the return. He's been returning all night.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see that Ron Sanders hasn't been out there. He has done that the past couple of seasons here at Richmond High School, and he definitely has that big breakaway speed mobility as well. So I'd be interested to see if Coach Tawfiq decides to try and put him in that aspect of the game as well and try and spark something for the Red Devils here.
Got two wide receivers in motion here for the Richmond Red Devils. Handoff to the right side and tackled in the backfield for about a loss of 5 is Deloney once again.
And guess who broke it up? It was Britton Chandler, again, number 45. He's been all over the field tonight. He's recovered a fumble as well, and it's easy to see why he's the leader of that defense at the middle linebacker spot. He's been flying everywhere.
Yes, Chandler and Brandenburg have been wreaking havoc out there tonight. Red Devils once again in the same shotgun formation with two wide receivers to the left of Jones, one to the right, Wyatt to the right, and Sanders to the left. Going to pitch it off to Wyatt, going to fake it to Wyatt and pitch it off to the right. Looks like Jones and Sanders still have not got that figured out as it was a fumbled pitch. Going to go backwards here for another 2 yards.
Yeah, Sanders was... Again, I think Jones made that pitch a little too late. He was already outside the far hash mark, and there's not a whole lot of field to work with out there once you get outside of the hashes. So if I was Jones, I get that you're getting swarmed to, but either make the decision quicker or just decide to try and make a move and cut up field. Do one or the other. Don't try and cost your team another fumble.
Same formation here as it begins to shift a little bit. Sanders moves up into almost an H-back position. Bird now moving to the left of Jones, and a timeout is called as there was some confusion on what the formation was there for the Richmond Red Devils.
Yeah, Wyatt Bird just kept moving from left to right, back from left, and then to the right again. So
Super Tecmo Bowl.
Doing his best Bo Jackson,
yes.
I think, right there. But one timeout used for Richmond. They've got 2 left in this second half.
And this is, like we said, going into the first half and kind of the whole game, shooting yourself in the foot, you're getting put back on down in distance, and then it becomes something that you're not accustomed to, and that's where you burn timeouts minute 30 into the the third quarter.
Yeah, and again, this sets up a third and long. The official distance is 18 yards, and we have seen Richmond convert some big third downs earlier on, around in the second quarter, I believe, but you can't afford to keep playing in that distance. You've got to make it manageable on third down. Like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 is a reasonable distance, I think, for this Richmond team, because I think they can pick up yardages of that distance. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get some good blocking.
And now they worked out the kinks of that formation here with 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball is going to be snapped and thrown over the head of Sanders, chasing it as if it were a live ball, but they're going to call it dead, incomplete. Now 4th and 18 with 10:23 to go in the third quarter.
And again, we're kind of seeing the short throws are becoming a little bit of a problem for Trayshawn Jones. Yes. Again, he's on the move. He doesn't have time to set his feet because the pressure is coming from the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. And to their credit, that defense is very fast, very skilled there on the defensive line. So, again, it's tough for Trayshawn to get the ball off and get it on a spot where his receiver can get it.
Deloney back to punt for the Richmond Red Devils. 2 men back standing at the 45-yard line for Lafayette Jeff. Good snap, and the punt is away, bouncing out of bounds at about the 47-yard line, I believe is where they're going to mark it. Ooh, a little closer to the 45, maybe a little closer to the 43. So maybe a questionable spot there.
Yeah, it was pretty tough to tell where that punt went out. Personally, again, it was on the far sideline, but that was only an 18-yard punt there for Gerald Deloney. And, again, he did a good job getting it off because the pressure, again, that's been a problem for Richmond as well this season. Special teams getting the snap back in a timely fashion has been a little bit of trouble for them. But credit to Gerald Deloney. He's been able to get those punts off fairly regularly.
Wilkerson brings his offense onto the field and hands it off to Munoz. Fumbles the ball going off to the left side, and it looks like there is going to be a big scrum for the ball before we find out who gets it. It was loose there for quite a while, though.
Yeah, it was. Munoz was getting drugged back to the 45-yard line, and all of a sudden the ball came free. And it looks like it's going to stay Lafayette Jeff football. But, again, great job by Richmond spreading the run out to the outside.
Yes.
And then dragging Munoz down and ripping at the football. It was an excellent job.
Same formation here. 2 wide receivers to the right of Wilkerson, 1 wide receiver to the left, and a split formation with the running backs. Brown in motion, going to toss it to Munoz, off to the right, cross the 45, good blocking to the 40, now crossing the 30-yard line. Great blocking, still upfield, and bounced out of bounds, well, stayed in bounds, but got it to the 13, 14-yard line. Great blocking downfield there by Lafayette Jeff, and even better running by Munoz.
Yeah, the one blocker that I saw do an excellent job was another running back, Latrell Brown, number 22, set a good edge there as he was coming toward the sidelines, and then as soon as he saw that block by Brown, he cut upfield through the hole. It was an excellent job.
Flip the formation, and now Brown gets the ball off the left tackle. It's going to be met by a defender. I believe it was Sanders, tackled him at about the 10-yard line.
And again, a good job by Ron Sanders. This guy just does not quit. Even though this game is not going the way that the Red Devils want, he's still going out there, giving a 100% effort.
Spread formation. Looks like a fullback is going to be in to block for Munoz. Gets the ball, bounces up to the 5, down to the 3-yard line, and they just keep pounding the ball. Going to be a first down and goal. 8 minutes and 45 seconds left in this third quarter.
And again, you see what this Lafayette Jeff offense looks like. When it's clicking, it just keeps on ticking. And once they get successful plays in a row like that, they're going to keep going very, very quickly.
Same formation here, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, a fullback in. They're going to hand the ball to Munoz right up behind the fullback, and he scores a touchdown from 3 yards out. Now it is going to be 42-0, and somehow a second was added onto the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, we learned how to time travel here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Very interesting situation with the scoreboard, but there was a flag on the play. Don't know what it is for. Heard the PA announcer announce that as well. So
as did I, and I believe there's going to be a bit of a conference here before we get the officials to signal a call. Touchdown is good.
I'll call the touchdown. Then after the play, a personal foul against Lafayette Jeff.
After the play, we have a personal foul against Jeff.
So that'll back them up for the extra point, all the way back to the 18-yard line.
And this might be one of the first times they've actually kicked the ball tonight on an extra point.
Yeah, I haven't seen the fake of the swinging gate or anything like that so far pre-snap. So
not from the 20.
Definitely not.
I believe that is Noah Ritchie lining up to kick this one. Seagal with the hold, and it looks like they got the Richmond Red Devils to jump offside there. Now the question is, with the extra 5 yards, will they go for it?
Good question there. I tell you, though, Richie looked like he got plenty of leg on that kick. He's got some good leg on him.
Excuse me, Eliza Marquez is kicking that ball, number 60. That's my bad.
Marquez, a freshman at 5'8", 200 pounds. He's a big boy down there, but he's got some good leg on him, and definitely showed it right there. And that would have been a 35-yard field goal had that been prior to the touchdown.
Some offsetting penalties here for Richmond and Lafayette Jeff. We'll back it up and do it again.
Oh, my.
Okay. There was a bit of a offsetting penalty, but they going to move it back here because the penalty on Lafayette Jeff was a bit more severe and unsportsmanlike conduct. So now lining up, the ball is placed at the 28, 45-yard field goal for young Eliza Marquez.
Let's see if he's got the leg here.
Snap is down, right foot into the ball. It's high enough,
be short.
But it is not long enough.
Looked like it was heading left as well, Jesse, but if he had now 5 more yards of carry there and aimed it a little bit more toward the center, that would have been a nice kick.
Maybe if he had 15 yards less of unsportsmanlike conduct, his buddy cost him a kick. So with that, it is 42-0. Richmond trailing Lafayette Jefferson with 8 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock in the third quarter.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Back here at Leibolt Field on the beautiful campus of Richmond High School as the Red Devils trail now 42-0 against the Lafayette Jeff Broncos. And again, Jesse, the offense there for Lafayette Jeff moving the ball very nicely and not a lot of time coming off the clock either.
No, sir. Once again, Marquez backing to kick off for Lafayette Jeff. Looks like Reese and Deloney back for your Richmond Red Devils. Left foot. Got to get used to that. Into the ball. Deloney got it at the 15-yard line. Makes a man miss, but only gets to the 22-yard line before he is knocked down, and that's where Richmond will start their second drive of the second half, and I believe it's probably the worst field position they've started with thus far.
I would agree, Jess. That's it's definitely the deepest they've been all night, so they haven't had their backs up against the end zone, which is a very good thing, and that's one positive I think that they can take away from this ball game. They just haven't had quite the sustainability on offense, but they've given themselves great field position, and that's really all you can ask for.
Absolutely. Now Jones in the backfield again at quarterback with Bird to his right and what appears to be Sanders to his left. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and Bird's going to get the ball right up the field. He goes in between the tackle and the guard, upfield for about 6 yards, and at the 30-yard line, it's going to be 2nd and 4.
And that's exactly what you like to see out of young Wyatt Bird. Only a sophomore, and he's got a couple of years left here at Richmond High School, and I think he's going to develop into quite the running back. 5'8", 180 pounds, so if he adds a little more bulk to him and leans himself out and gets some muscles on him, I think he's going to be quite the pounder up the middle here for the Red Devils in the coming years.
Same formation with Hoglund and Deloney to the left, Reese to the right. Jones takes a snap, fakes the handoff, and runs it up the middle himself for about a gain of 1. Going to be 3rd down and 3 now at the 32-yard line. Maybe 32-yard line. You can call it 3rd and 2.
Very good job there by Jones. Again, taking his time, trying to get something in that pile there. He did move it forward and made it a manageable 3rd down.
Same formation with Deloney now in motion left to right. Jones checking the defense, making some checks.
Got 10 on the play clock.
Wyatt now in motion, and I knew it. Didn't see the flag yet, but I knew there was some motion going on there as it looks like there'll be a false start on Richmond. Back them up 5 yards, and now 3rd and 6 with 7 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Ball is going to be placed at the 27-yard line.
And again, these are the kinds of things that Richmond has to get better at doing. They cannot, they just have to be disciplined on such a short down. You can't afford to back yourself up 5 more yards and make it a harder third down get here.
And same formation, looks like Deloney a little confused about where he needs to be on this play as Sanders goes in motion to the right, swings it out to the right. Jones passes it to him, and he gets the ball, drug down at about the 32-yard line, maybe made it back to close to the original line of scrimmage on the last play as we have a Bronco down on the far side of the field. Not sure who that is. It looks to be number 20-something, and he just rolls off the field. Did you see that? That man is about efficiency.
Yes.
He wants this game to keep going. He rolled off the field, but more importantly, hopefully that young man is okay.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see who it was there, did you?
Yeah, I didn't get a clean look at him. He was already rolling toward the sidelines once I got onto him. But, again, I hope this young man is okay. He was kind of in the pile there around Sanders, where he went down, just shy of the first down marker. But, again, that's kind of what you need to keep doing, I think, if you're a Richmond Red Devil fan. You got to keep giving Sanders the football. You can see what he does in space. He turned a short little flat pass, cut it upfield, and almost got you a first down. And that's the kind of plays that I think you can really get behind if you're a Red Devil fan.
And that's some good adjustments, I think, by the Richmond coaching staff, because that's the same kind of play that was ran against them successfully in the first half.
And they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
4th and 1, same formation. Bird in motion now to the left, and Jones is going to take it up the middle, and I don't believe he's going to get it. He got hit in the backfield and tried to spin his way forward, but only made it to the 30-yard line, maybe lost a few there. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. Jefferson will take over at the 30-yard line is where they're going to place that ball, about the 31.
And, again, that's a tough decision, I think, for the coaching staff of Richmond there. It's a short yardage situation, again, but it is kind of in that iffy territory, if you will.
And this is one of those things that we talked about at halftime. That may be one of those situations where in the future – Jones is under center, and it's more of a power formation straight up the middle to get that yard as opposed to having to run 6 or 7 yards to pick up that one being in the shotgun formation. Shotgun formation once again here for Lafayette Jeff as it is handed off to Brown off the left side. He makes a man miss across the 20-10 and bounced out around the 4-yard line. It's going to be close to, it's going to be definitely first and goal, but close to the end zone there.
Yeah, they're going to say he stepped out actually a little sooner there, Jesse. They've marked it at the 11, so it will be 1st and 10. So they can get the first without scoring here. But knowing Jeff, I bet they're going to try and punch this one in.
Absolutely. Brown is given the ball with that power formation, and he scores just the way Munoz did, 11 yards up the middle of the field. And now it is 48-0, 5:52 to go in the third quarter. And that's the same style of play they ran, same type of thing I would like to see Richmond do on that last 4th and 1. Maybe an H-back type of fullback guy in there in the shotgun formation to clear the way a little bit. Worked well down here in the red zone the last 2 times for Lafayette Jeff.
And again, I think more than anything, I think Richmond right now is just trying to keep notes on what works, what doesn't work here in the second half. Again, the game is a little out of reach right now as Jeff's looking to add the extra point. It's up on the way, and that one's going to be good, making it 49-0. But going back to what you said, again, I think Richmond right now is just trying to see what works and try and improve, getting ready for next weekend when they take on Anderson on the road in the penultimate game of the regular season, at least here. Again, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a loss tonight. They'll drop to 0-7, but again, I think the mood still is somewhat up there on the sidelines as well for
It's
Richmond.
still a competitive atmosphere down there, you can tell, and they're still definitely going to fight to get that first score on the board for the evening. Wouldn't be surprised if I see it come here in the third quarter.
I would not be either. And, we mentioned getting Ron Sanders more involved. He's back out there on the field right now, Jesse. He's back there to return the kick.
I like that as well. And as you mentioned, Sanders is back there with Deloney to return the kick. And it looks like we will be getting the third quarter back underway very shortly. A new kicker in here for the Lafayette Jeff Broncos, going to be number 47. And I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
That is quite the name. I will give it a go, I think.
It is Neff Yaka Balayikin. And Neff is going to trot forward and put his right foot into the ball. A little bit of a short kick bouncing at the 21-yard line. Deloney picks it up right up the middle of the field, and he gets to about the 36. Great field position. And it looks like that'll put a little bit spark once again back into the Richmond offense.
Yeah, that was an interesting kick there by Neff. We're going to go with Neff, folks.
Yeah.
That last name is
Yacabalquien elemental P.
Quite the name. So, yes, we will go with Neff. But on that kick, Jess, it was interesting because that kick fell right in between Sanders and Deloney.
And maybe that's strategic.
Deloney made the initiative to go ahead and field that ball.
And there, no whistle was blown. The ball bounced on the ground, which was...
I think it was a lateral.
Okay.
It looked like it was going backwards there to Wyatt Bird. And that was a great concentration by him, picking it up on the hop and still turning it forward for positive yards, about 3 yards.
The football bounced in that way, or it could have been another fumble there for Richmond, as we have been all too familiar with this evening. Once again, Deloney and Hoagland to the left of the quarterback, and Reese on the other side of Jones. Sanders on the left of Jones and Bird on the right. Deloney in motion from left to right as Jones checks the defense, takes a snap, and hands off right up the middle to Sanders, but he is met immediately, almost upon handoff, and tackled for about a loss of 3 on the play.
One of the men in there for the Broncos was Isaac Kayoyet. I'm going to go with that as well. The senior defensive end, 6'2", 188 pounds.
Same formation here for the Richmond Red Devils as number 3 checks in for Sanders. That is going to be Carpenter, Tremel Carpenter coming in, and it looks like they may run a 4-wide set with Carpenter, Deloney, and Reese to the right of Jones, Hoagland to the left, and to the right is his running back, Bird. Jones is going to take the snap, roll right, carrying the ball very freely, and tackled in the backfield. Sacked, almost lost that ball, and sacked at the 25-yard line for a loss of what appears to be about 7 yards.
And again, that was Chandler. Like we said all night, he's been the leader on that defense.
30-yard line, excuse me.
Exactly. On that defensive side of the ball, Britton Chandler's been just
all over the place.
All over the place. That's all you can really say about that young man. He's definitely making a name for himself. He's only a junior, so Richmond will have to see him again one more season. And I think that's a meeting that they will dread until next year.
Avery, Walker, and Siegel back to receive this punt from Deloney. Deloney standing at about the 15-yard line. The 2 Broncos of Lafayette Jefferson are about at the 40.
Good
and
punt
it looks
there.
like it is going to be caught by Seagal at about the 43-yard line. Reverses field, gets back to the 45, crossing midfield now. Met by a few defenders. He's toying with some guys and just makes a great move around all his defenders, across the 30, across the 20, crossing the field to the 10, 5, diving to the end zone. They're going to call him out at the 1, but there may have been a vicious hit on number 75 across the middle.
Yeah, Colton Davis got blasted. Actually, that's
76
Shea Hall, yes. He was blasted there. There was a flag on the play, and I'm sure that's for what it was. It's a personal foul against Lafayette Jeff. They're going to back this one way back. So Shea Hall definitely looked shaken up, but he got to the benches, and that's a good sign. But anytime you take a vicious hit like that, that definitely jars your body.
Yeah, it came to an interesting point there where the returner, Seagal, almost was at a stop trying to figure out what his next move was. And at that point, a lot of the Red Devils defenders stop and none of the Jefferson defenders stop. And when you get hit by a moving target, it was not pretty there. Young man's tough, got up and walked to the bench on his own power. May have just the wind knocked out of him. Doesn't seem to be receiving severe medical attention down there. Wow, what a tough youngin'.
Mm-hmm. So instead of being down at the 1-yard line, Lafayette Jeff's now back to the Richmond 49-yard line.
and a stack formation to the right and to the left here with one running back to the right of Wilkerson. Ball is at the 49, and he's going to take the snap, throw immediately, and gets the ball to his wide receiver, number 7. He's going to get it off to the 41-yard line. That's Bishop Johnson. His third catch on the night. This one didn't go for a touchdown.
He's 2 for 3, though, on his catches, taking it to the house. But, yes, Johnson is a quick little guy. He's listed as a quarterback / wide receiver, which is interesting. So I'm sure Jeff has some things in the playbook that will go for him.
5 wides here for Wilkerson. Drops back, takes the snap. Pressure coming. Going to be a screen up the middle. And great blocking here once again by Lafayette Jefferson as the ball gets past the 25 before the wide receiver Isaac Alvarez slips. Otherwise, we could be talking about 6 more points right there. Great running by Isaac Alvarez and even better blocking once again. Great downfield blocking on their screen.
I loved that design right there. They just let Richmond come to Wilkerson, and I saw that tunnel screen set up beautifully. And great job by Alvarez there, making the move, cutting upfield once he got the catch, coming back toward the middle of the field, then cut right up toward the middle.
3 wides to the right for Jefferson, 1 to the left, and the running back Munoz tucked right of Wilkerson. Wilkerson making his checks, takes a snap, looks right, throws immediately again to Alvarez. He's going to make a man miss. Big block on the right side, and he cuts it upfield. 10-5, touchdown, set it backwards, but it all works out the same. Touchdown by Isaac Alvarez, and there's that blocking once again. You saw it there on the right side of the field, Eric.
Yeah, it was set up great. Those short passes actually, that was 81 Derek Matthews. Don't want to attribute that to the wrong person. Derek Matthews had the last 2 catches,
both of them,
right there, and he was the start of that drive for sure.
Really was.
For the Broncos, and he's showing what kind of speed he's got. But like you said, the blocking there to the right side was executed to perfection, and I think after that drive, you might want to think about resting your starters now.
Yes, I have been surprised that they came out on the last 2 drives, actually.
Yeah.
I was surprised they thought they'd play maybe 1 snap of the first half, or 1 drive of the second half, and then get out of there, but now may be the time as the extra point is good. So we are still on a traditional score here, 56-0. As we have 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the third quarter, as we will be back shortly after these messages. You're listening to Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top-flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information.
And welcome back to Leibold Field. I'm Jesse Ochoa alongside my partner for the evening, Eric Banton. We are at the beautiful campus of Richmond High School in Richmond, Indiana, East Central Indiana, of course. 56-0 is your score. Unfortunately, the Richmond Red Devils are on the short side of that. Lafayette Jeff holding the 56 and the Red Devils holding the 0. But the best part about football is you got another chance to put some points on the board here, as looks like Deloney and Sanders are once again back deep to receive the kick from Marquez. Marquez's foot goes into the ball, a good one once again, and Sanders is going to catch it about the 13, running to the near side, crossing the 15, cuts up the field, and gets it to about the 23-yard line before he's brought down by a gang of Broncos. That one cut once again, it looked like, he was easing it to the side of the field, and one cut up the field he goes.
Yeah, he was, and unfortunately, it was great coverage, though, by the Lafayette Jeff special teams unit there. Did a great job getting to the ball carrier and swarming to where they thought he was going to cut up field.
And an angled kick as well helped the coverage on that.
I know a coach that once preached that you got to kick the ball between the numbers and the sidelines, and that's exactly what Lafayette Jeff did there. Excellent execution.
Standard formation as we've been accustomed to for the entire third quarter here, with 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Read option there for Jones. Circle button. And then cuts upfield for 3 more yards there, getting about 5 yards on the carry
and a 6 spin move.
I like that as well. I like the circle button or the B button, whichever console you prefer, of course. But, again, great job by Jones keeping the play alive, cutting back toward the middle of the field, using that nice pivot there and getting back to the middle of the field, picking up about half the yardage.
2 wide receivers to the left are still Deloney and Hoglund. The one to the right is still Reese. And to the left is Sanders. To the right is Bird. Jones is your quarterback. He's going to call for the snap, gets it. Run option to Bird. Gets tackled at about the line of scrimmage, and it looks as if he's always trying to get rid of the ball at the last second. Carries the ball so freely, it makes me so nervous.
Yeah, it really does. And that was a high snap again. Great job by Jones again, fielding it in. Trying to fake it off to Bird and then trying to cut up and do something there. But I'm like you. He's very, haphazard with the football.
Absolutely.
He needs to keep it closer to his body, tuck it under his arm, and just be a little less careless. That's the only knock I've seen so far on Jones today.
He makes us nervous. With 10 seconds left, it looks like they'll have to get one more play in with 3 on the play clock, 2 on the play clock. Jones takes the snap. Once again, read option. Up the middle it goes to Sanders, and he bounces it forward for about 6 yards. Now the 30-yard line is where the ball is going to be placed. And that will do it for your third quarter here at Richmond High School. It is 56-0 at the end of the third, excuse me. Richmond falling short at the moment to the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. We will be back in a moment. You're listening to Richmond Red Devil Sports on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
And welcome back to Leibold Field. It's Jesse Ochoa here with you, and Eric Banton is my partner for the second half of this football game featuring the Richmond Red Devils and the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos. As we said, 56-0 is your score starting the fourth quarter. And Eric, just a short recap of how we got there. A lot of offense by no confusion here for the Richmond. A lot of offense by Lafayette Jeff, and penalties and fumbles have cost Richmond.
Yeah, a couple of key fumbles for the Red Devils inside the Lafayette Jeff red zone really hurt them. Unfortunately, now they're just having to keep playing from behind, but boy, that is a great punt by Gerald Deloney. Nobody was back there. Interesting.
Nobody back deep for Lafayette Jeff. So the ball is going to be down at the 28-yard line, as it looks like. Who was that?
It was Holguin who downed the punt.
Well, Huber and Holguin, yeah, they were kind of fighting to see who would down the punt. That's kind of funny. But great punt there. No one was back for Jefferson, which was kind of strange.
Yeah.
Maybe the first thing wrong they've done all night.
That was about a 42-yard punt, if I'm not mistaken, there from Gerald Deloney. Again, that was a really great job by Gerald fielding that snap because it was very high. He's got some great ups for a little guy right there, and fielded it cleanly and got it clean off of his right foot as well. And he's a guy that just doesn't quit. He does it on every aspect. He plays special teams. He plays defense. He plays offense. He does it all.
And now we have a new quarterback in for Lafayette Jefferson, Max Grimes. Max Grimes, number 11, the freshman, is going to be in. Spread formation as they continue to pound the ball off to the right side, crossing the 25 to about the 27-yard line are the Broncos. And it looks to be new quarterback, same play.
That is the case. They've been doing a great job with that run play out to the outside, and where Richmond really doesn't have the speed to answer the playmakers there for the Broncos.
Absolutely. Grimes takes the snap once again. Play action up the middle he goes. Trucks number 41 for the Red Devils. He gets about 3 yards there, bringing up third down. Just over 11 minutes left in this fourth quarter as Jefferson does not stop. They continue with the hurry-up offense with 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, an H-back formation, so we could see a run here possibly, and the quarterback in that shotgun formation.
Unable to see who's beside him now at the moment, but as we said, Grimes is your quarterback now, and he's going to hand off up the middle, get about 4 yards on the play, and I believe that is number 15, Xavier Derrick.
Yes, I agree with you there, Jesse. That was Dietrich.
Dietrich,
yes. Number 15 there on the run.
Says he usually plays defense, but pretty good doing offense here, getting the first down as the exact same formation is called here, except for the H-back is flipped sides. That H-back for Lafayette Jeff is going to be Caden Sowers. He's a 5'10", 230-pound young man leading the way for his running backs.
Only a freshman.
I know.
Only
we
a
have
freshman.
Some big kids up there, Jeff.
Yes.
False start here for the, or I guess it's called encroachment for Richmond, and that's going to give 5 free yards to Lafayette Jeff. They're going to hand the ball right up the field to number 15 again. He's going to get bounced around about the 50, 45-yard line is where he will fall. 44, they'll call it. And Xavier Dietrich may have found a new home on offense.
He may have. Man, that was a great job hitting the hole. Made a man miss. Made a man for Richmond miss a tackle. But Stephen Huber more than made up for it. He pushed him right over and was very fired up after the tackle.
Once again, a option here for Grimes. He's going to fake the handoff, run it off the right side, make a man miss at about the 35, and get it up to the 30-yard line, where he'll be met by a group of Richmond defenders. One thing to note on that play, 76, Shea Hall back in the game. Good to see.
Yes, very good to see after that tough hit he took there on the special teams, a drive or two ago there for Richmond.
And now Richmond is going to call a timeout as Lafayette Jeff is quick to get back on the ball, and they have been unable to make substitutions almost all night with that very, very quick offense that Lafayette Jefferson's running.
So with that timeout on your Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, 9:54 left in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. The Red Devils down 56-0.
Best One Tire and Service has been committed to our partners since 1948. With more than 250 locations in 26 states, Best One puts over 1 million tires on the road every year. Superior tires, expert service, competitive prices. Best One Tire and Service, where the best costs less.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark with Best One of Richmond. Because Best One is one of Bridgestone's largest retailers, we offer exclusive Bridgestone savings. Visit us in Richmond to save on Bridgestone tires today.
Welcome back to the Leibold Field. It's Jesse Ochoa alongside Eric Banton here on Radio Troy Digital Sports, and the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard reads 56-0 as the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos are leading the Richmond Red Devils, and a play up the middle there for about 3 yards. Once again, a read option there. Dietrich got the ball and ran it up the middle for a minimal gain.
And again, that's a play that's kind of been the bread and butter of this drive. And again, you got some of your second and third stringers out there. Give them a run on offense. See what they can do.
Absolutely. Coleman is going to get the ball this time at backup tailback, and he gets about 4 yards on the carry, getting it to about a third and manageable here for Lafayette Jeff, and they get the call from the sideline. And once again, Grimes gets to the line of scrimmage and motions to his guys, get set. 2 stacked to the right, 1 to the left. Right up the middle they go once again with that power shotgun formation is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
And once again, Coleman right up the middle. He's going to get about 8 or 9 yards here. First down and goal, I believe now, for for Lafayette Jeff. Not first down and goal yet. They're at the 15-yard line. But wouldn't be surprised to see first down and goal very shortly. That power shotgun formation has been quite successful for them this evening.
Yeah, I've seen the Green Bay Packers do something a little similar to that. They'll bring the tight end kind of in toward the quarterback along with the running back in the shotgun.
Stack wide receivers to the right. Once again, 81 gets the ball. Up the middle he goes, and he's going to get a first down. Now it is first and goal, and that is Derek Matthews once again being the star of the show with that speed and power combination. A young man who stands 6'1", only 160 pounds, but putting that weight to use.
Yeah, he definitely is, and showing off his speed. He has been the star so far in the passing game for Jeff here in the second half.
Same formation here with Stack to the right, 2 wide to the left. Now 81 is going in motion. He's going to get the ball. Matthews off the left side, and touchdown Lafayette. Jeff, a reverse. Man, wrinkles that they throw in their plays.
Yeah.
They just ran that play. They threw a wrinkle in where he comes around the jet sweep, got the ball, good blocking once again, and another touchdown for Lafayette Jeff.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching this offense for Lafayette Jeff. They throw in so many different wrinkles to what they do. I mean, you get swing passes out to the right and then get some screens coming back to the inside of the field. It's just amazing to watch. This is easily, I think, the best team that Richmond has faced against or come against this year, and it's easy to see why. These guys are looking good heading toward state playoffs time.
Absolutely, like you said, looking good, rolling on all cylinders. And 63-0 is now your score with 7 minutes and 46 seconds left in this fourth quarter.
And tonight's broadcast brought to you by your Richmond area Subways. Each day of the week, you can get a different 6-inch sub with no artificial flavors or colors for just $3.50. If you want to head in Tuesday, it's the oven-roasted chicken. Thursday, the Italian BMT. And on Sunday, it's the meatball marinara sub. Treat yourself at Subway. 4 locations in Richmond and Hagerstown. It's Subway. Eat fresh. So again, Jesse, it's easy to see why this Jeff team is so good. You know, they're in Class 6A now, and they don't really play a whole lot of 6A schools.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think this success that they've been having in this conference will translate into their state run, should they make one?
It's interesting you say that because we see and we saw throughout our career broadcasting high school sports that it definitely works the other way. Teams in our area, Indianapolis metropolitan area, that are 4A or 5A that would play up definitely got that benefit and that boost, and were often way deep into sectionals and regionals. So I think that is one thing that may throw them some trouble coming forward, that they haven't played the size, the speed of teams that frankly
match them.
Right. And as we know, the metropolitan area is most of the time where those larger teams, schools come from. So they haven't played the Carmels, the Warrens, the teams in the MIC, the teams in those conferences closer to Indianapolis. So I think that will halt them towards their state championship run. But at the same time, man, that offense is moving good.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. We had Sanders there bring back the kick.
And he took it upfield to about the 30-yard line. I think it may be one of his first times returning the kick tonight, as I believe we now install the running clock with 7 minutes and 15 seconds. The clock will begin to tick towards triple zeros, as most believe that this one is out of reach for Richmond. Now Sanders trying to get off field as they've went total shotgun formation with 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and Bird to the right of Jones. Jones calling for the snap, takes it, fake to Bird, spin move, and gets met right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe they'll give him a yard, and he is tackled at the 29. They will give him a yard, so 2nd and 9.
And again,
31, excuse me.
Again, the good thing that Jones does, even as he's going down, he's trying to get the ball forward, whether it be by trying to stretch or reach out the football forward. That's one thing that I think is good. The thing that I worry about, though, is if teams try and swipe at that. And eventually I think teams might be a little more accustomed to that and try and execute that as well.
Same formation here with the running back switched to the left side of Jones, and it is Sanders who's going to get the ball up the field. And almost the same result here. He just gets 2 yards on the play, maybe a yard. It's going to be 3rd down now. Call it 6 yards at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, again, interesting to see that Richmond trying to go up the middle, but Jeff is clogging up those holes quite nicely. They've got some good size on that defensive line there, and the way they've been playing on defense, they've been playing fast and loose, just swarming to the ball carrier no matter where he is on the field.
Donnelly and Holguin left of the quarterback, Reese to the right. Same deal here with a option pass. Going to be incomplete. Did they call that complete? I wasn't sure there if he...
Looked like they did call it complete.
I wasn't sure there if he was stretching it across or if he dropped it, but he did catch that ball at the 39-yard line, and it'll be very close to a 1st down. They're calling it 4th and 1, and Richmond staying on the field. Reese is going to stay right of Jones, and it looks like Deloney and Holguin are going to stay left of Jones. Now Deloney comes right, and things are getting worked out with the coaches.
About 17 seconds on the play clock.
Sanders now left of Jones. Bird now to the right. Shotgun formation. Jones takes a snap. Read option. Right to the left
Bird.
is Bird, and he's going to get enough for the first down. Going to be knocked out at the 44-yard line. First down, 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go now on the clock in the fourth quarter as Richmond hustles back to the line, trying to get a score on the board.
And again, this is going to be more than likely their last time with the football, with the running clock installed now. So
yes.
I think if Richmond manages to get a score on the board right here, it'll be considered a successful night. Again, the scoreboard definitely doesn't say that, but they're just trying to get better as a football team together.
Confusion once again for the Red Devils as a man is brought on the field a little late, and the same formation here as Sanders now moves in motion. Read option up the middle goes Jones, dragging defenders with him for about 5 yards there. Getting closer to the first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1, I believe.
Yeah.
At about the 47-yard line. Great run there by Jones, about 5 of them after first contact.
Yeah, again, I think the reason he got those yards is because of his size. He was so much taller than those guys trying to bring him down. He just used his legs, kept churning a little bit, and like you said, he got 5 yards after the first contact. That was very impressive.
Huber and Deloney to the right of Jones. To the left is Reese. Same backs in the backfield. And Bird is going to get the ball up the middle, making
Great
a man
job
miss at the
hitting the
45-yard line.
Give him some blocking. Come on now.
A decent block across the 30-yard line and gets knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Wyatt Bird with a great cutback run for the Red Devils, and they get back on the ball as we are nearing 3 minutes left in the ball game.
And that's exactly what you want to see. And I love when Wyatt Bird runs the football. He finds a hole and commits to it.
Absolutely. 2 wide receivers now to the left of Jones, 1 to the right, Huber to the right, Deloney and Hogland to the left. Same backs in the backfield. Sanders left of Jones, Wyatt right, and there's going to be a timeout called by Lafayette Jefferson as they had too many men on the field right before Richmond snapped the football.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Jason Wise of Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. Jason's got an alternative fundraiser idea for your school group or nonprofit. If you list, buy, or refer a customer and mention this promotion, he'll donate 10% of what he makes on the transaction to the school group or nonprofit of your choice in your name. Tell your friends and family and colleagues to mention this offer when listing with Jason Wise at Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. Give him a call at 969-3400. No candles, a wrapping paper purchase required.
Two 2 minutes and 49 seconds left on a now stopped clock after the Lafayette Jefferson timeout. 63-0 is still your score. The ball's on the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for Richmond. The clock now rolls with 2 wide receivers to the left of Jones and 1 to the right. Sanders moves to the left of Jones, and he's going to get the ball on a screen pass, or a swing pass rather, met immediately by number 13 of Lafayette Jeff. That is going to be Devon Seipel. And boy, he was on that one.
Yes, he was. He read that play out right from the beginning. A 5'7", 155-pound defensive back, and made his presence known there against the bigger Sanders.
Absolutely. And here is what we were talking about kind of earlier in the second half. Richmond taking their time, coming back to the sideline now. Jones is talking to Coach, getting a little more information on maybe what he wants as we cross under 2 minutes now. Trying to get a score on the board are the Richmond Red Devils.
Richmond's going to have to think about taking the time out here. There's only 3 on the play clock.
And they get the ball snapped? No. I think they might have got the ball snapped, but Coach called a timeout, calling him back over to the sideline. I think they all want this score very, very badly with 1:53 left on the clock. Want to make sure they get it with correct execution here.
And again, with the win tonight by Lafayette Jeff, they will clinch at least a share of the North Central Conference title. If they have some pieces fall their way, they could clinch it outright. So this is a good night for Lafayette Jeff either way, and they just continue their momentum drive as they look to try and complete an undefeated regular season and keep the momentum rolling here into the state tournament.
And it looks like we have some folks warming up, practicing their snapping and their holding and their kicking down there for the Richmond Red Devils. So they will not take no for an answer tonight.
Yeah.
As far as getting points on the board. Richmond comes out with 3 wide receivers to the right of Jones, 1 wide receiver to the left, and Bird to the right of Jones. He's going to get the ball off the left side, crossing the 20-yard line, crossing the 15 now, and bopped out of bounds at about the 13. Looks like he took a rough hit there, maybe tripped over the sticks as the down and distance markers were knocked over. But a first down nonetheless.
Yeah.
Well, he ran the darn thing over. They better call it first down. How else would you get there? Same formation here for Richmond. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 wide receiver to the left, Bird to the right of Jones. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the game clock. Jones takes a snap. A little confusion there.
Oh, nice throw.
Beautiful throw by Jones as Bird went under him there. The ball's going to be at the 3-yard line, and I believe that was Deloney with the catch.
Yep.
So now it is going to be 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. 60 seconds left on the game clock.
They're actually going to say this is 2nd and short. Very short, actually.
2nd and very short indeed, as Jones is going to take the snap, going to take it up the middle himself
there it is.
And score a touchdown.
All right.
And deliver a little forearm shiver to John L. King, who met him in the end zone. He said, I was trying to get here all day, man. You're not stopping me now. 48 seconds left in the ball game. Richmond on the board with 6 points from their quarterback, Trayshawn Jones.
And that's exactly what I think the Red Devils needed. They've been fighting for this score all night, and they finally got it. They accomplished the mission. Now, going into next week against Anderson, they're going to want to try and build on that. They want to score a couple of times.
Absolutely.
They haven't scored a couple of times since the first game of the year against Connorsville, where they scored 16 points. So they'll be looking for some more points next week, and it could be a winnable game there against Anderson.
Absolutely. I think the most winnable left on their schedule comes next week in Anderson, and it does a great service to them to get this touchdown and maybe even get this 2-point conversion as a high snap leads Jones into running.
Oh, he lost
his hat, but boy, he made it into the end zone in my opinion. He didn't according to the referee, but looks like they have some positive momentum to build on here with their mobile quarterback, Trayshawn Jones, and his 2 running backs, Sanders and Bird. I think that one of the strengths to coaching is seeing what you have and kind of adapting to your players at some points.
Yes.
And I think that's what Coach Toffee did today.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of saw that a little more in the second half.
Yeah.
And I expect to see that a little more against Anderson the next week. A little more trickery in the backfield as far as who's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
Because if the defense, has to take that extra half a second to read, that gives you an extra half a second to get to where you need to go.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be one key. They might start throwing in some new wrinkles next week against Anderson, and that's going to be, I think, like you mentioned, I think the most winnable game they have left on their schedule, and it's going to be a good contest, I think. They're going to be going up to Anderson. It's going to be, I think, a very fun game. Again, it's a couple of teams that really haven't had a lot of success this season.
Right.
And Anderson is not having a good night tonight in their matchup. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Richmond can keep adding some new stuff here for Trayshawn to run in the spread option and that kind of a thing. So I expect a lot of success, I think, next week against Anderson. It should be a fantastic contest.
I'm excited to see it, especially after seeing the glimmers of hope, as you say, tonight. Yeah. If you can string those together, a little onside kick action, as that was beautifully executed.
Very nicely done.
Who is that? Number 13.
Stephen Huber.
Stephen Huber. You, Pat McAfee, you. That was a beautifully executed onside kick there by the Red Devils.
It was so great the clock didn't even move.
Wow. Once again, time travel.
Time travel.
On Radio Troy Digital Sports. And you thought we only did ball games. So that's an interesting wrinkle there as the clock begins to run already. 45 seconds to go, and there's no quarterback under center yet.
Looks like they're going to send out Snedeker, number 12, Alex Snedeker.
Snedeker now is going to come up to the line. It looks like his wide receiver may be offsides there, but referees don't call it. He's going to give the ball to Wyatt. Bird's going to get across the 45, make a man miss across the 40, and gets tackled right there.
I thought he was still sitting down on the defender, and I thought he was still up.
Right, and that will probably be our final play of the game, ladies and gentlemen. With 10 seconds to go, it looks like they are going to attempt to run another play. 5, 4, 3, 2, and your final score is 63-6. Lafayette Jefferson Broncos beat the Richmond High School Red Devils here at Leibolt Field.
A tough night on the scoreboard for the Red Devils, but nonetheless, I think they learned some things. They saw some good things from Trayshawn Jones at the quarterback spot. I think they definitely have some things to build on, and that matchup against Anderson is going to be, I think, pretty fun to watch. They'll travel up to Anderson to take on the Indians. Will be an excellent game, and I think, like we've mentioned before, it's going to be one of the more winnable ones, I think, or that they will have left on the schedule. Again, I think they have just Harrison left after Anderson back here at home for senior night. So be sure to join us here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Should be a fun game.
Absolutely. Like you said, probably their most winnable ball game comes next week. Great chance to, like we say, just put a good foot forward for next year. You're 0-7. It's not fun. I've been involved. I've worked for losing programs. It's just a vibe where you walk in, and it's not fun. And great credit to these coaches, because I don't see a losing group of kids out there. You know?
I see a lot of positive attitudes on this team, and I think they have bought into what Coach Tawfiq is preaching to them. It's going to take time.
Yes.
It's going to be a couple of years before this program gets back to, I think, the success that a lot of fans have come to expect, and it is going to come. You just need to keep putting in the work, and these kids are doing that right now.
I believe it totally from what I've seen here in the last few hours watching the ball game. Just give it some time, and success will definitely come for this Richmond team. They got a lot of young guys out there getting experience tonight. That'll only pay off way big in the future.
So that is going to do it here from Leibolt Field on the campus of Richmond High School. Your final score, once again, Lafayette Jeff 63, Richmond 6. Again, we'll be in Anderson next week as the Red Devils take on the Indians here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. So for Troy Darengowski, for Jesse Ochoa, I'm Eric Benton saying good night here from Richmond, Indiana. We'll see you next week in Anderson. So long.